Good num morning. We're back with session 30. Oh, 30 of Blue Reflection Second Light, where today we're kind of going to start pushing towards some of the endgame stuff. I don't think we're that far from... Well, so I know we're not that far from the end of the game. I don't think we're that many streams from being done. Because we're going to do Owl's Heartscapes. There's going to be more, probably, Date-mageddons coming up. But then we've got the rank 10 scenes rank 8 and rank 10 scene for Uta. We've got Uta's Heartscape and then the final dungeon. So in the grand scheme, we really don't have that much. But it's been a fun journey. It's been a very long time coming of us getting through this. And we're probably going to get the Platinum Trophy today for the record. Because the only thing we're missing is in Owl's Heartscape, which we're literally just about to walk into. Yep, we've got everything else done, so... It'd be time. Hello, Uta. I want to be like you, willing to give my all for the sake of others. I've missed this game. It's been like nearly I think it's been... Was it Sunday I streamed it last? It's like nearly a week. It's crazy. I would have quickly it flew past. I was like, yeah, it's alright. It won't take that long. It's like, it's felt like forever, but at the same time it's flown by. But let's jump straight in. Effectively, or essentially, we're going to keep on running around till the trophy pops. I know where the scene should be, but still. There is one unique scene that we missed that we need to get before we've seen every single location thing across both playthroughs. So this is Owl's Heartscape. It's so peaceful, it's almost anticlimactic. My Heartscape. There's nothing special about it. It's just a town I lived in. A regular old town that you'd find anywhere. Ah, that startled me! Ow, your phone is ringing. I wonder why it would start ringing now. What? What did it say? That's it, it doesn't say anything. Then you got an alert, but not a message. Maybe it was the wrong number? Huh? Now what? Yeah, it's so bright. What is this? Nothing happened. No, look over there. What's that? What? The final dungeon. Something appeared. What the heck is that? There's like a big hunk of gears. It definitely wasn't there before, right? Huh? You mean it just suddenly appeared? Oh, what is the meaning of this? I have no idea. I've never seen anything like this. Why would something someone's never seen appear in their Heartscape? What does it mean? That's... Maybe if we walk around we'll find some clues. Yeah, good idea. What's this feeling in my chest? God, I forgot how hollow Owl's dungeon theme is. Oh, it just hit me like a truck. I was like, oh fuck, yeah, we're here again. You know, like it's like that's how it kind of felt. I was like, oh god, we're here again. Now we know that from the first playthrough, Owl's memories aren't real. They are forged by the whatever god of the realm it is. You know, it's forged by the world system to make her a tool for this system. We're gonna feel it the most here, you know? We're going to feel the fact that these memories aren't real, that they're fake, that they're too normal because they're not right. And the fact that all of her, and the only real memories that show up with these memory shards, represent the memories she made after coming here. That was us just now, right? Seems that way. Must be memories of Oasis. These are without a doubt Toshizaki's memories. But they're awfully recent. I was ready to see a memory of that big thing. It was a little underwhelming, but... Wait. The hardscape is made of important memories, right? That must mean she considered us important to her. Hey! This is so embarrassing. Walking through your hardscape usually is, Al. I guess so. No demons, no Ash, just a normal looking town. It's just so scary that there's not a single person around. This part of the music is what kind of like hit me well on the first playthrough, this bit. Because the whole thing, like, there's beauty and there's calmness, but there's this hollowness to it. And it's also one of the shorter tracks in the game. Like, it loops a lot quicker than some of the other tracks. Like, everything about it makes it feel slightly off and different from the rest of the soundtrack, and that's deliberate. They want this place to feel kind of slightly unnatural and unnerving, because it kind of is. It's the only memory that isn't real. Oh, these things are so cute. I want to take them back with us. Right? Wouldn't it be fun to line a bunch of them up in a row? We could put them on the stage in the gym. They'd look like they'd move around in the middle of the night. Ooh, and we'd always find them in a different place each morning. Now that you mention it, the girl's face is a bit unnerving. It has such soulless eyes. And even that might be like, so you know, like subtle wordplay and foreshadowing, you know? Talking about something being soulless, maybe this is. Be reborn. Yeah, continue the loop. We will break free from that loop. Just you wait. The optional scene I'm missing is down that road, so hopefully we'll get it. I'll run down it in a minute. It's been a while since I've seen a convenience store. Something like that used to be so common now feels so strange. Oh, I really want to go inside and buy all sorts of snacks. Especially ice cream. Eating ice cream on the way home from class was the best. Oh, we can't get in. Well, this is a hardscape. Let's all go to a convenience store together once we've saved the world. So going to a convenience store is our ultimate objective? That kind of silly objective sounds just like us. Can't argue with that. The moment of the loop. I remember this place. Because I think, I can't remember, but I think around this point on the first playthrough, I was already suspecting that, like, Al might be in some kind of, like conundrum involving the world system directly. Like, I don't know if I'd figured out that it was a time loop yet, but that was, like, I think I'd already kind of caught on that, like, Al is more involved with the world system than we realise. I remember this place. What is it, Al? I lost my phone once. This is where I picked it up. You ended up in Oasis after picking it up, right? Yeah, but I don't know exactly when I changed worlds. I walked into school as always and Kokoro was there. When I went outside I was in Oasis. Anything seem different? Something different? There was a strange message on my phone. At first I thought whoever was messing with me was the one who brought me here. Could someone have summoned you here? I wonder if that thing in the sky had anything to do with my phone at the time. So on my first playthrough, I took that left road up, but somewhere up here there's another optional scene that I missed. So you can't keep lazing around at home every day, so I'm kind of gonna do this a little bit. Oh, back at home. Hey, ow. It's just summer break. Don't you think you should go out and do something? Seriously, you can't keep lazing around at home every day. Are roads really this wide? It may look wider than it is since it's just us here, plus there are no cars on it. So no one would get mad if we played tag here. No one would get mad, but I certainly don't have the energy to play kids games. Okay, Grandma. What, who are you calling Grandma? I'm not old. You're just acting like a child. You look quite comfortable, Al. It's a little embarrassing to see myself being lazy like that. I'm going to be doing this a lot because I don't want to miss the scene. Like if I... Hey Camo, hope you're doing alright. Like if I check my locations, so we're missing, we've got Main Road, convenience store. So we've seen Main Road, we just saw that. We've seen that, we've seen this one. So we've got the crosswalk and the houses, and then whatever the one is we're missing. Hope you've been alright, dude. Haven't seen you in a while. As we listen to this extremely hollow track that is Owl's Heartscape theme. Genuinely sends a shiver down my spine when it does that end bit of the track, just because it feels so... You can hear the clock, I just realised you can hear the clock ticking of that place, like the gears turning, but it's just like hollow and on its own because we're so far away from it, but at the same time having that symbolism of what Owl is. So I'm going to do a lot of zigzagging, so I don't want to miss it. Is it the park? No. Bus timings. It's not the creepy ass don't go any further signs. Okay, it's the crossroad. Ah, here it is, the final barrier between student safety and certain doom. Huh? What barrier? The barrier that decides whether or not you are late for class. Oh, I get it now. Cross it in time, and you'll be safe. But if you cannot pass, you'll be doomed to lateness. Learning how to get through this fearsome barrier is what granted me the strength I have today. Maybe you should have learned to leave your house on time. I feel like I can bring up my map again. I've got a guide map that tells me where all the little scenes are. So if I can't find it, I'll just bring up the map and go to it. But the fact that I'm having to run around, check these corners so much, and I still haven't got it, kind of speaks for itself. No wonder I missed it. What's this? Oh, a news report about a girl who won some world championship. Looks like she's around my age. Wish that were me. Oops, did I say that out loud? I don't even know why I said that. Didn't mean to sound so spoiled. I'm sure those kinds of people work really hard, unlike me. I just don't have the right to be jealous. Still, I wish I just had something that I could be proud of. If I had that, just one thing, No, I still sound like a spoiled brat. I relate to Owl so hard sometimes, you know? I'm like, damn, yeah, I get it. But you kind of just wish like you were something more. I'm happy with who I am, but yeah, you do get it, you know? Like you sit there and you go, man, if only. But you got to try not to let it get to you, because that's what ends up building resentment for people who do find success. You end up becoming the person who's like, why did you damn? It ends up becoming that over time. It's okay to have your doubts and have your regrets and have your moments like that, but you can't let it weigh on you, or it will start to become present. You gotta humble yourself a little sometimes. Where the heck's this little scene? Hang on, let me just look at my guide map that I have. Oh god dang it, I was so hang on. I was confident that I'd be like, yeah, I'll find it, it's fine. I don't have it anymore. Blue, reflection. Alright. Kakashi Okara. Let me just scroll down the list. Yuzu and Lime. main road that. Okay, I see where it. Well, I think it is. The thing is that it involves me getting kind of close to the school, which is why I was hesitant. But it's like one's in that corner there, and one's like there. So I think that one there that's in the corner might be the one I miss. Because I think the one to that right is the old house. It's yeah, the house. So yeah, okay, it's one in the corner. Oh, and everyone's here. Yep. Her most prominent Wow, it's me! Alice's most prominent memories are the ones that are actually real, which is the one she's had since entering the Oasis. I feel like I've seen this before. I kind of remember talking about something like that. They must be memories of a past conversation. We had a lot of fun. Looking back, we've been through a lot. Not that we're out of the fire yet. That structure doesn't seem to have anything to do with it, but I'm getting a warm feeling. Why are all my memories like this? Is it hot in here? Let's move on, shall we? It's scary if someone were here. I hope touching that wasn't enough to advance things forwards and lock off the scenes. If they were, I'll just reload, but I hope not. Okay, no, there's that one, so we are not all done. But it's like one in this corner, maybe? Or nearish? Oh, is this it? This is the houses, okay. So the only one we're missing is still the one we need. Alice Heartscape feels like a real place. Everyone else's Heartscapes have had strange and impossible structures, but this one is quite normal. If it wasn't for that big thing floating in the sky, I'd totally think we're back in the real world. It almost feels like someone would answer the door if you rang on one of those doorbells. Ding dong! Hey, she wasn't saying you should actually ring the doorbell. I didn't ring it, I just said ding dong out loud. Oh, Yuki. Where are you, optional scene? Like, real talk, where are you, optional scene? Where I'm looking at the map thing, it says it's over here. It says it's like here. Like, it says it's like right here, so it's like, where are you, optional scene? Is it because this is in the way, maybe? Fine, let's click on it. Those aren't memories from our world, Al. They're memories of this one. Even I'm in them, which means they're extremely recent. Yeah, I think I remember having that conversation. What's in your mind, Lime? It's just, memories are almost always things from further in the past. People usually forget the trivial things, right? The ones you don't forget are what truly important memories. What are you trying to say? I'm saying that these are new memories, but they're in your Heartscape. Which means you consider even these small day-to-day moments very important. Okay, no need to over-explain it. She's just like Yuki. Right, I've moved the scene out the way. Can I have the optional scene that's around here, please? Been really busy lately. Good news is BR1 is finally on sale, along with another banned game here, Manhunt. Yeah, I saw. I know it was on both. Blue Reflections are on sale in Japan because I retweeted it on their official JP account. I've also on my JP account. They've been doing new artwork. They've been releasing new artwork of some of the Blue Reflection characters. There's one of like Hina in a swimsuit, and there's one of Ao, Kokoro, and Yuki sharing ice cream. I retweeted both of them, so I was like, okay, this is cool. It's just that there's new artwork of them, by the official artist. Where the hell is this scene? Is it because I'm not supposed to twig the events? Is it that easy to miss? Like the guide I'm looking at doesn't say anything about them highly missable or something. It just says look around. I'm just gonna waddle around, see if we can twig it. It's the one I need for the trophy. It's the only thing I'm missing for the trophy. How far ago is my autosave if I go to load? 51, so like just when I entered it. Let me load this autosave, see if we can go back and twig it. Yeah, let's turn around here and see if we can go twig that scene. And if not, I can load my manual save and just ignore everything and beeline for it to see if that does anything. This is going to be the house, isn't it? Yep, okay. Yeah, I noticed that the heart with the electricity effect on the cover. At some point I want to get the physical boxes for BR1 and 2, like especially the collectors if I can, just so I can kind of appreciate that stuff more. But yeah, I did notice that with the thing with the BR2 box art. Where is this scene? For God's sake, game! The guide says, literally, the guide is telling me it's right over here. Like, so where, game? Where are you hiding this from me? Am I messing with the event because I'm going so far away from the house when I like do it? Like, what was, you know what I mean? Like, what am I missing? Third playthrough time. Shush. Like, is it because I'm too far away? Like, I'm in like the trigger box for the other one or something, and it's messing around. If I can't get it, like I said, I will load my manual save from before I entered this dungeon, and we will go around there, because it is the house scene again. Then the gutted, like with like, it's not like with Yuki's or like there's ones with Kokoro's or Shio's where it like explains how some of them can be missable and how the one for out, it just lists them and it just says go get them. So there shouldn't be anything stopping me is what I'm getting out of it. Like there shouldn't be anything that holds me back from getting the scene, I'm just not seeing it. For some reason. Bus times? No. I have no objections. And is it to revisit? Is it the revisit of the best girls? You get it. What do you mean? Because the only thing I'm missing is, if you mean trophy-wise, is C1 of see all location scenes, and so the only one I'm missing is in this dungeon. Which is why I'm doing so much zigzagging, because it's like we're right here, we're literally like rubbing our shoulder with the platinum trophy, and for some reason it's not triggering the scene to give it to me. So at some point I will revisit and do a third playthrough of this game. Just not, obviously, I have no reason to do it yet and I don't want to burn out. It would be something like, in the same vein if they announced Danganronpa 4, I was saying in the Dangan Summer spin-off. Classification, you might need true form Uta. I think it would have said that in the, guide. I mean, I couldn't have a look. Let me Google. Let me go back to Google and search, like, owl scene not popping up or something on Google. Like Owl Heartscape. Owl Heartscape locations. No, that's the same website I just looked at. No, I'm trying to look for a new one. Like, give me a sec. I want to find this, and it's annoying me because it feels like I'm so there. Okay, what about on PlayStation trophies? No, nothing brings it up. Nothing mentions Owl's Heartscape, even when I directly search it. Which implies to me, it shouldn't be that problematic. You know, it should be fine. Hang on, there's a video that shows them all off. I'll do that, see if that helps. Graffiti. I'm looking for graffiti. That's the one I'm missing? Okay. You mean this graffiti? No? Okay, time to stop fucking running around. This graffiti? Yeah, because this is on the corner, so this... Okay, this is it. Oh, so now it gives me the scene. What was the rest of... Is it because the camera wasn't facing it? Does the camera need to be on it? Is that why? Does the camera need to be on it? Is that why it wouldn't twig? I mean, if we got it, at least. What does this say? The hero, right? Ah, hero. Now that you mention it, I can totally see it. The letters are so cute and round. I'm always impressed by this type of lettering. It takes a lot of skill to write like this. It's called graffiti. It's called graffiti. Many people actually consider it an art form. Interesting. Mio, you're really smart. No flattery would get far with me, you know. Hey, Heartscape exclamation score trophy! And... I know you guys can't see it. A special girl, platinum unlocked. And I'll screenshot that, check that on my Twitter later. But we've got the platinum for this game now, so it's just going through the rest of it. So yeah, because like, we were running around here like this, weren't we? And it didn't twig. It's because you have to be looking at it. Got it. I'm going to play BR1 now. Wish Amazon would hurry with my USD gift card. Oh. I hope you enjoy it, dude. That's it. The first play game's got its jank. I mean, you've seen from my playthrough, it's got its jank and it's got its moments, but I still enjoy it. But yeah, as I was saying before I got like confuddled, I will go through both of these games again at some point, but it'll probably be if they ever announce a third one. Like when we get close-ish to release of the third one, I'll do like a refresher playthrough on both of them, where they'll probably both just be a casual like New Game Plus playthrough, not worrying about like the finer details of things. Oh, we've already seen this. We just need to get back to where we were. In the same vein that if they ever announce Danganronpa 4, I won't go through all of the Danganronpa games, but I would go through 2 again, since that was my favourite one of the lot, just a lot on the warm-up to it. More so with Dangan, just because I need to get them, re-familiarise myself with how the puzzles work, and how the puzzle master makes all his puzzles. Because that was the biggest thing that threw me off, because that 2 and V3 have a slightly different DNA of how they handle all of their puzzle structures from the first game. So like in the first game, I'd mastered how the puzzle worked. It got to a point where I was pretty consistent with it. Got to the very first case of Dangan 2, and I game overed like 4 times. Because I realized very quickly that's like, no, the actual like DNA and core like structure of how they base all their puzzles off is different from the first. So if you treat it like the first, you're gonna get stuck. And that's what happened. All of these memories so far feel familiar. But the structure is still a mystery. Yeah. Please wait. I may know what that is. What was the Dangan Beach episode? I haven't caught the archive yet, I'm curious. The only thing it will spoil is it will blatantly name characters who are pretending to be others. If there's a situation where a character, like, in the game they came from, was dressed up or disguised as another person, instead of making them a new sprite so you can see their name, it will just say the person they were disguised as, and then in brackets, imposter, or something like that. Well, that's the only spoilery thing for the main series, if you play the Summer Beach episode. But the rest of it is completely non-canon shenanigans. But it's like, the thing is, those two, the two characters are like the imposter versions. One of them I don't think was too big spoilers, because I kind of cottoned on. The other one, though, like, straight up kind of gives away the really, really major plot point of the original game, if you aren't aware of it. And that's the only thing that's kind of, you have to be kind of wary of. Like, if you don't know who the actual, mastermind of the Killing Games is, the Beach Party spin-off will kind of accidentally, inadvertently spoil it by telling you who's dressed up as someone else. And that's it. But the rest of it is just non-canon beach episode shenanigans. Like, everyone's got swimsuits. You do literally the Monopoly board game. You roll the dice and go so many spots, and either fight battles for experience, get growth points, get unique little cutscenes between the characters, cross games, fight bosses, and proceed onwards. And then once you've done 50 days in the Monopoly mode, your character is locked in and saved, and you can then apply them to your party to go dungeon crawling in the other mode. They've cleaned it up a lot from the V3 variant of it, but it is still very repetitive, and so I did 2 runs of the Monopoly mode, so how far I could, and tried to see how far I could get in the dungeon crawler, and then called it a stream, which is why it wasn't even that long, because I knew it would just be extremely repetitive to just say, hey, let's do 3 games of Monopoly. You know? That's basically what it feels like. It's like the game of life, but Danganronpa edition. And I'm not going to platinum it because it has another trophy that says do 1 run of every single character. And it was bad enough doing all 53 of them in V3, let alone it also including the entire spin-off cast on top of that, upping it's 60 something. But that's it. That's the only spoils you'll get is those characters. It will say blah 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 imposter, and so you're like, oh, so that person's not who they say they are. But that's it. Which for one of them they had to do it because the person they're impersonating is also in the game, so they had to put in something to differentiate them. The other one though, no, they really should have just given them a new sprite, and I really don't understand why they haven't. I really don't understand why they haven't just given them a unique sprite, considering who they are and who they're supposed to look sort of like anyway. Like, it wouldn't have been that hard to basically edit the art of who they're impersonating to make it work. But for some reason they just decided against it. I may know what that is. Really? What do you mean? I can't say anything with certainty, but the moment I saw it, I felt something pulling at my heart. Uta hasn't got her memories back. Perhaps we'll be able to learn more about it once she does. Wait, if we go to Kamigawa's Hardscape... That's right, there's a possibility of another crack forming. So at least finish Dangan 1? Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so. It does also spoil a smaller twist in the second one. But at least for me, when I went through Dangan 2, I kind of had a hunch. It still surprised me when the twist happened, but I kind of had a hunch with the imposter-esque character in that one, so it wasn't as big a deal. It's not revealing the mastermind like it does in the first game. What do you think? I believe in the Uta we know now. Alternatively, the first streams I did back in January, if you're prepared to put up with the first couple streams being in 720p because I didn't trust my internet, and rightly so, and my commentary being a little bit more nervous, and me swearing a lot more because I hadn't found my mojo and kind of cooled it down yet. I did stream Danganronpa 1 and 2. There's a whole playlist of it on my channel of me going through all the Dangans. Well, as best I could. Danganronpa 3 and Ultra Despair Girls had blocked scenes, so I did like chapter by chapter breakdowns, like written breakdowns for them. Now, I did breakdowns for V3. I did a podcast review for Ultra Despair Girls. Uta has the strength to face her past. She already spoke with us about it. We've seen Uta struggle every day. We know just how serious she's been taking all of this. And then there's Uta trying, you can see it in her face, trying to process the kindness she's suddenly being given. And then struggling to slightly because she's not used to it. When we decided to go to Owl's Heartscape, I felt relieved. Relieved that it wasn't me. I thought maybe I wouldn't have to cause more trouble for everyone. But that's not enough anymore. We must go to my Heartscape. Uta, let me go back. I must face my past. I also want to go. It won't be like last time. We won't make the same mistakes. We all have to believe in each other if we want to move forward. Dangan seems like a game to play along with someone to see if your theories match up. Oh, one of my favourite things was is in the first game I wasn't aware of the Dangan pattern that the 3 main games follow. What I mean is that there are certain subtleties of every single chapter of the game that are patterned in the second and third game, but in slightly different ways. The most obvious one being that there's always one more death than usual in chapter 3 of every game. That kind of thing. Or, you know, I don't want to go into details because you'll end up spoiling stuff, but you start to pick up on them. In the second game, it's fun looking back on my live stream on the second game because like you can see when I start to pick up on the pattern but not actually realise there's a pattern there. And what I mean is that I start predicting deaths and like either being right or close. You know, and it's like I didn't even realise it was a pattern. I was just like, it's like the story seems like it's going to lean towards this person, and then suddenly that happens. Whilst in V3, when I got to the third game, it started to become a lot more mechanical. I was extremely aware of the pattern by then, so I was correctly predicting deaths even chapters ahead. I was in chapter 3 and I was like, okay, I think this person's going to go in 4, this person will be the killer, I think this character's super important, so they're going to go in chapter 5, because they're not plot important enough to survive to the end, but they really are making a big show of it. I think this person's going to do it, and I ended up being right. And so that's not the only things. It's like, it's fun to look back at it because you see the theories and you see people click how everything works. I just wish the pattern didn't have chapter 3 be, at least in my opinion, the weakest chapter in every single game. I think the weakest chapter of the first game is chapter 3. I think the weakest chapter of the second game is chapter 3. I think the weakest chapter of the third game is tied between chapter 3 and 4. You know, like, it seems to be a common thing. Oh, and the most controversial chapter of the spin-off is chapter 3, because that's the one that talks about sexual abuse. And the way they talked about it is what made it very controversial, because it seems a little too deliberately like triggering in places where they try to talk about it, because they try to replicate the feeling of helplessness by imprisoning your character and having these robots try and touch you up, and you have to try and bat them away desperately to try and keep them away from you. And the sequence goes on for a while. You're constantly having a voice shout at you to tell you to accept it. Like, it's really, really unsettling. It's like that one bit in Ultra Despair Girls, it ended up kind of tainting the game for most people. I know people that absolutely despise UDG, and when I asked them why, they go, fuck it, that bit in chapter 3, and I'm like, oh, okay. Which I think is a shame, because I love UDG. I think it's the second best Danganronpa. It's just chapter 3 is rough. There's no denying that. Chapter 3 is rough. Chapter 1 and 2 is a great setup. Chapter 4 and 5 have great plot shenanigans, but chapter 3 is ooh, oh, you know. Anyway, we all have to believe in each other if we want to move forward. Uta is no different. I fought against Uta many times. There are still some things I can't accept. Uta was our enemy. We can't forget that. But we also can't forget the days we spent together in this world. You're right. I trust the Uta Komagawa we have come to know in this world. We need everyone's strength. Okay, I trust you too, Uta. Let's go back to Uta's Heartscape and do it right this time. Thank you for trusting me. Who knew Uta would know something about a weird thing in my heart? It's almost like you're connected. I never thought my Heartscape would be like this. Me neither. We all had to go to our Heartscapes in the end, huh? Maybe it's about us all giving everything we have to find hope. Yeah, I get the feeling that's got to be it. Alright, time to go back to Uta's. How are we doing on resources? I honestly can't remember how we left it after the DLC shenanigans. 27? Okay, we should be fine. And you have to start it from the beginning again, right? I forgot about this. You have to actually run through the whole area again, because now you get to see the proper context for every scene. Hello, Uta. We're back in... Everyone be careful. Nothing's happening for now. Certainly seems that way. It's a lot calmer than last time. How about you, Uta? Are you feeling okay? Yes, I feel fine. I think I'm prepared to finally accept myself. I spoke with Hiyori and Mio about my past self. About what I had done, what kind of person I was. This twinge in my chest I felt when I looked at that structure. I want to know what it is. Though I don't know what will happen to me when my memories return. Don't worry! You aren't the person who did those things. If worse comes to worse and you return to who you were, I'll stop you. Hiyori. So let's not worry too much about it. Staying relaxed will likely help this world stay calm as well. Thank you. Getting your memory back might also be the key to solving the mystery of that structure. Now let's go find your memories. The music, I don't know why the music had to reset there, but okay. I really don't need to fight these enemies. God damn it. I was like, I really don't need to fight these enemies. They're like level 30 something and we're all being capped out. Oh, I'm pretty sure I did change the difficulty back to Death Wish at the end of the DLC, but I should probably check before we get too far ahead. I'm pretty. I mean, yeah, I had to have because I've turned the transformation animations back on. I'll still double check, but I'm pretty sure I put it back on Death Wish because maybe it's doing the DLC gauntlet, but it's like getting a move on, I lowered it to hard. So I suppose the resources are nice. Let me just double check. I'm pretty sure I'm on. Okay, I am good. Alright, let's do this Heartscape. Let's help Uta so we can help ourselves. And because, you know, it's Uta. To make you happy when I come here. And even if we have to go through the tragic story of her and her relationship with her grandmother. I don't want to fight all these enemies again. I'm just like, we don't need to fight these guys. We're max level. God damn it. We're the highest level. It doesn't matter. It's not going to matter until we get to the 4th area. Well, I suppose it's good warm-up since, you know, I haven't played in a week. But as was in the schedule video, it's going to be this today. I'm going to take tomorrow off just because, you know, I've kind of ended up streaming both the days I'd normally take off this week, so I'm taking Sunday off. Monday will be more of this. Tuesday I'll be starting Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance, and then we should Wednesday off, Thursday this, assuming we don't finish it next stream, which I doubt it. With the extra dates we'll end up doing, I imagine it will still be another 2 streams, but we'll see. Right, you, Uta. How do you feel about seeing me? How do I feel? I don't feel anything. Oh, you're an interesting one, Uta. I don't think there's anything else up here, rather than resources and the snakes. God, the violin! Oh, it's been a week and I already missed the soundtrack too much. In fact, that was the other thing when I was going through the beach party. Like, at several points in the stream, they would, like, during the game, they play music from the older games. In fact, like, the entire soundtrack, I think, is music from the older games. And there were some points where I just kind of went, man, I kind of miss these games. I kind of missed going through them. Like, anytime you entered a dungeon on the Monopoly board, and it would play the Danganronpa 2 investigation theme, and I was just like, man, I miss the investigations from 2. I miss not knowing what was happening and what was going to happen next, and trying to figure everything out, and theorizing who the killer could be and everything. So, and I know that a lot of people are kind of happy with there not being a 4th game, because, you know, the director has left the Dangan team. He's working on different things now. But to be honest, at the end of V3, the biggest thing I wanted was a fresh perspective. I'd love a new director to come in and make another Danganronpa, just to give us a different perspective, to give us a different methodology, a different plot. So I felt like it got a little bit too, not full of itself, but like over-exaggerant in places in V3. To a point where it started to end up harming my interest and harming the quality of the game, instead of, you know, making it so extreme and like super as they wanted it to be. Hey Grandma, what is it, dear? Does it make you happy when I come here? Well, of course, I don't get to see you very often. So you're happy to see me because you don't see me very often? That's right, I always think about you, Uta. You know what's going to be tragic? Talking about the music a minute ago. When we go from this to Harmony of Dissonance, this game has a beautiful fucking soundtrack. It's one of my favourite soundtracks I've heard this year. It's such a genuine, heartfelt soundtrack that encapsulates the feeling of whatever scene, moment, or area you're in. And it does such a wonderful job in it. Like, the reason why I did a little video for it. Harmony of Dissonance sacrificed its sound chip to better the graphics. So the sound quality isn't great. It's going to be such a, like, drastic juxtaposition when we go from this and then also when we play more of this on Monday and then the very next day go to Harmony of Dissonance and you hear the sound quality just plummet. I still have the magic of being fully blind in Dangan. I have full 4 games ready to play. Then I hope you enjoy it. Like I said, like, even though I have my stigma and my problems with the 3rd game, I still think it's good. And I feel like I had to repeat that many a times, because it's like, when I reached the end of V3, at least to me, in my like chapter by chapter breakdown, I felt like all I did was complain. I felt like all I did was have more problems. But I was trying to make it across. It's like, no, even though I complained, I liked it a lot. I wouldn't have finished it. I wouldn't have seen it through to the very end. I wouldn't have done the essays if I didn't like it outright. I just think V3 changes itself a hell of a lot and tries to be very different in a lot of ways that I wasn't keen on compared to 1 and 2. Like, well, don't get me wrong, every single game, like, each game sort of has its own tone. Like, the first game is a lot more grounded and dark and kind of horror-y in places, whilst the second game is a lot more campy, which is probably why it's my favourite one, because I love the vibes it gives off and I love the characters. Ultra Despair Girls is pure insanity for the most part, and like, it's kind of in the hints in the name, Ultra Despair. It's very ghastly and dark, and a lot more blunt with its horror and dark-minded content. And then V3 is trying to be more, I hesitate to say Western, but it was the V3 came out after Danganronpa radically took off in the West. And so I do feel like it was at least slightly influenced by it, because it is a lot by nature, it's a lot more grounded in its story writing, but it doesn't feel like Japanese grounded. Like, the first game feels Japanese grounded, like there's still some quirks in it, whilst V3 is super dark and super serious most of the time. Like a proper, like, adult Western game kind of thing. Like a more mature Western game, to use the proper wording. And I still enjoyed it. I thought the story was very interesting for the most part. I liked about a handful of the characters. V3 drags on too long. That too. It's the longest game in the series by far. It's like my first playthrough was close to 80 hours. Like it's a country mile bigger, and I'd say starting with chapter 3, it starts to become very predictable and very obvious. The big plot twist in chapter 5 was interesting, but the plot twist in chapter 6 like completely like switched my brain off to it. Like, it was so extra and so ridiculous for the sake of being a bigger twist than the last game's big twist that it completely went full circle to being ridiculous, and I just switched off from it. That was my problem. I'm being vague, so I don't want to spoil it, but it's like, V3 does have problems, but I still liked it. It's just, the problems that are there are frustrating. But on the flip side, V3... in every single game, you'll reach a point in the case where the game will straight up ask you, okay, of everyone that is still alive, who actually was the one that did this crime? And it will present all the information you've gathered so far, and it will just say, who is it? And in every single game, by the time it got to that point, I knew who the killer was. You know, like, in every single case, once it got to that point, I was like, oh, okay, I'm pretty sure it's this person, and I'd click on it, and the game would go, you're right, and then you just had to back it up. V3 has one case that was the only exception, where it was case 2. I got to the very end when they said, okay, here's all the evidence, here's everything you've learned, here's what everything is, who did it? And I went, oh, and I had no clue. And I think I paused the game, and I like theory crafted it for about 5 minutes of trying to put everything together, and then I took what felt like an educated guess and happened to be right. And the fact that did that genuinely made me happy, because I wanted it to be like that. I want it to be that you have to think about it. Because like the first game, because they're still introducing you to the things, like I'd say the first 2 cases kind of spell it out a little too bluntly to you about who the killer actually is when it comes to like gathering that core evidence at the end. I mean, the first case in the first game, absolutely. It's a tutorial to the franchise. It's the first case of the entire series. So it's super easy to figure out who it is when you think about it. And then the second case is just if you pay attention to the slip of a tongue, you'll realise who it is pretty quickly. Whilst the rest of the cases make it a little bit more subtle, but by the time it comes to accusing someone, you know. And then it's the same for the whole of the second game, and the same for most of the third game, except that one case. But I loved that one case because I didn't know. And then when I did accuse that person, and it ended up being right, it felt really satisfying, because I was like, damn, I actually figured it out. And, you know, I didn't have to have it spelled out for me, and it didn't feel like it was somewhat obvious. I actually had to stop and really think about it. But it was only because the game continued after I accused it, you know, I realised I was right, and I was like, oh, okay. And if they ever did a 4th game, I'd love for them to do more of that. I want the cases to really make you think and play on your brain. It's ultimately a puzzle game, for goodness sake, so make the puzzle. It's why I've, like, if you eventually do go through them and finish them all, when I was doing my video essay in all of the chapters and parts of V3, the very last video I did talked about the epilogue of V3, but then the rest of it talks about if I was in control of a Danganronpa 4, what would I do? And I wrote out like an entire subscript for that video. I went into huge detail about what kind of setting I'd want, what kind of characters I'd want, what kind of twists and differences I'd want, what kind of mixes up to the formula I'd like, what kind of gameplay changes I'd like with the puzzles. Because as you'll learn, there's this little mini game that you do in every single game called Hangman's Gambit, and it's the worst looking thing in the game in every game. Which is why they try and reinvent it in every game, because it's the worst thing in the first one, so they tried to completely reinvent it in the second, but it was the worst thing in the second game, so they completely tried to reinvent it in V3, and it's the worst thing in V3. It's just like, get rid of it, please. And I was like, in the 4th one, I said, no, like, homogenize it with another mini game, just so it's got rid of, but the identity of it's still there. Because no matter what they do with it, it's not good. It's called Hangman's Gambit, and you'll see it when you get to it, what I mean. Like, in the first game, it's just so boring and pointless. In the second game, it's the most frustrating goddamn thing in the universe, which is a shame, because Dangan 2 is my favourite game in the series. And in V3, it goes back to being completely pointless time-wasting. And you're like, well, just get rid of it, then. Anyway, do you hate Grandma? No, I don't hate you, but I don't really like you either. I see. Well, then I'll just have to work hard to get you to like me. So I know there's another memory over here, I'm sure there is. And 100%ing the Danganronpa games changes them a lot. The first game is kind of grindy, but to get 100%, because it's just basically max out everyone's social link, and then it'll be like miscellaneous, like get a perfect case trial, or, you know, destroy white noise 500 times, which white noise is sometimes when you're listening to a conversation, other people will have like generic conversation, and you can press R1 on the words to get rid of them, so you can see the text that's important, like easier without having like more obstructing text. And it'll be like break 500 white noise lines, which is like every single time, every single Danganronpa game, I was about 400 deep when I finished the first playthrough. So just doing cleanup, I got it. But like Dangan 2, on top of that, added a mini game that was a little grindy, because one of the things 100% is to get one of every item, and the items are random drops from the enemies you defeat in the mode. The mode is only like 5 minutes long per run, so if you just grind it out, it's easy enough to get. But it was an extra thing that made the post-game grinding 100% a little bit longer. And I remember, like, after the second game, I was like, I want them to reinvent this. Because the post-game felt like it was just there for completionist grinding and not some fun extra. Yeah, you get access to Danganronpa If in 2, the What If book based on the first game if things happened a little different. Which, to be fair, is a very good read. I enjoyed reading it. But it still felt like it was just your post-game is, if you pick the wrong killer, do more people die. I fall into a trap protecting my favourite character and might be an accomplice accidentally. No, the game has you on a very fixed path. It's just, you have a health bar, and depending on how grave a mistake you make, the more punishment you'll take on your health bar. So if you pick the wrong killer, people will just go, what? That doesn't make any sense, and you'll take a huge chunk of damage because it's the most significant choice. Whilst if it's just something in a dialogue and you go, hang on a minute, that doesn't make sense, like someone says a random line and they go, yeah it does, you only take a bit of damage. That's something that's more in the later games though. In the first game, they make it a bit more mechanical. You have 5 chances on the whole case. If you make a mistake, you lose a chance. But the game is also super forgiving with its game overs. Like, every single case, when it actually gets to the case, are split into, chunks. They're split into, like, say 12 chunks. If you game over, you'll reset at that chunk. You won't reset the whole case. It's not Phoenix Wright. It won't kick you out the whole case. It's extremely generous because they more want you to get involved with the narrative first, then worry about, you know, getting punished and dying sort of thing. But they want you to be more involved in the story first before anything else. Which is why they change it to a health bar that you can level up and make better to such an extent that eventually you're near indestructible in the second and third game. But it's like those post games like my problem, but then you get to Ultra Despair Girls, and Ultra Despair Girls straight up doesn't have a post game, and I actually liked that because of it, because there was no grind. It was just find every collectible, hit level 99, and then there you go, there's your platinum. So if you just go through the game and get everything, because collectibles give you extra experience, you'll be super close to it anyway. So then after that you just replay your favourite chapter or something, and there you go, you're level 99. Like, it was super quick to do. And then you hit fucking V3, which adds an entire RPG mode to its post-game, and it's the most monotonous, grindy thing ever that took me over 40 hours to do. Which is why my playtime on V3 is the longest of any Danganronpa. It's not because I enjoyed it and wanted to play it the most, no, it's because 100%ing it took forever. And I was just so burnt out. Like, I want them to mix up the post-game in the 4th game if they ever do one. But if, like, with the picking the wrong thing, it's the satisfaction of getting it right the first time, for me. Like, I took my time and processed every conversation, every minigame, every puzzle, and tried to figure it out. There was only one time in the whole trilogy that I got so stuck I ended up looking it up. And that's because it wasn't even tied to a case. There's a point in the second game where you do a escape room. And I don't do escape rooms in real life, and it was... Although from what I've been told it wasn't too hard, it wasn't like beginner friendly either for an escape room, and so I just got hard stuck. And if you talk to a character that's in the room with you, they will give you hints, and if you keep on talking to them, eventually they'll just straight up spell it out for you. And that's what I did in the end, because I just had no idea what I was doing to figure it out. And that was it. The rest of it I figured out myself, and I just took my time to process it. Like sunflowers, Uta. Not really, I was just looking. That's new, you're showing interest in something. But that's good, I'm glad there's something you're interested in. Why does that make you happy? That's just how grandmas are. Since you said you liked them, Grandma will have to grow these sunflowers with extra love. I didn't say I liked them. The only, they don't change, to answer your question properly though, they don't change, like, plot events. There's only one moment in the entire trilogy where if you make a wrong choice, the game will continue. And that's because it's a very clear cut. There can only be one of two people, and it's either you accuse the other, or you accept blame on yourself, because the blame is between you and one other person. And that's an ending decider, depending on who you pick. But at least for me, that one felt obvious of which was the bad ending and which was the true ending. And I was right when I picked it. And I remember people in chat saying, oh, you should have picked the wrong option just to see the bad ending. I'm like, okay. But like, that's it. The second and third game have no alternate endings or anything. It's just you go through it. But also, if you do go through all of them, if you're not aware already, understand that Ultra Despair Girls is not a point-and-click case-solving adventure game like the main three. It is a third-person, over-the-shoulder, Resident Evil 4-inspired shooter. It does have puzzle solving in it, and I like the puzzles it has in it, but it's a lot more focused on being a shooter. And although I didn't have any problems with it, every single review I've ever read or seen on the game had a problem with it, so I might as well bring it up. Because it was also on the Vita, the camera is a little bit more zoomed in than most third-person shooters. So Komaru takes up slightly more of the screen than you might be used to in like an over-the-shoulder kind of shooting game. Like she takes up more real estate on the screen than you might be used to in other shooters. I'd never bothered noticed it once, and I don't think I even mentioned it in my review because it just didn't bother me. But every review I've read has brought it up, so I think I feel like I need to just in case it ends up bugging you. But just so you're aware that she does take up a little bit more real estate at the screen than most over-the-shoulder shooters. Just by the nature of it used to be on a handheld as well, so it's just the nature of the beast, they had to do something. Hey Uta, how about going to visit Grandma this year? Nah, why not? You used to go every year. Because you made me. It's not like I wanted to go. Grandma would be so sad to hear you say that, you know. Whatever. That has nothing to do with me. Oh, jeez. Are you stuck? Oh no, it's chasing me. I thought it was stuck. No, it could see me from down here. And like, I know the puzzles can seem intimidating as well in some points, but if you start with the first game goes out of its way for like the first two cases to kind of spoon feed everything to you, to try and make it so you get a feel for how the puzzle works and how everything is. Like they will kind of be like, hint hint, this is what you should be paying attention to. And that is kind of epiphanized with Kyoko. The character of Kyoko, she really spells shit out for you in not only the cases but the investigations where you have to gather evidence as well. Like she will really spell things out for you of like what you should be kind of looking for and what you should be paying attention to. And then once you kind of get that advice and get yourself set up, the rest of the trilogy is like, you know, you fighting for yourself, but you kind of know what you're doing at that point, you know? You kind of know what to expect. It's not your first rodeo anymore. And what also helps is that the cases themselves in the first game are a lot shorter. Like some of them you can get done in like an hour and a half to 2 hours, whilst you get the V3, and some of them are like 5 and 6 hours long for the actual cases themselves. It's insane. Uta, you got a letter from Grandma. She said she'd like to see you, even just once. It's been a while. Why do I have to go? You shouldn't say that, for once. When you think about how Grandma feels... I told you I don't care. What? Nothing. Once again, Uta's family not understanding how she is. I get it, like it's awkward for everyone, but it's like it's not understanding that it's just how she is. I think this is where Uta's like losing control and he had to turn back. Looks like it won't happen today. Just up ahead of my memories. A fragment, correct? Yeah, most likely. Though we may have no way of knowing since we've never been. Let's be careful. And that boss just respawned. I don't get what the deal with that mini boss is and why it always respawns. To the sunflowers we go. Yeah, we got to have all the red and blue sunflowers as well because we haven't, hit the rank 10 scene. Also, once again, now we've seen everyone else's, I can also reinstate it again. Uta's is the only rank 10 that outright changes her heartscape. Everyone else's it doesn't because it's more about the connection they have with Al. Whilst with Uta, it's a personal growth as well as, her having something new to love and something new to appreciate in her life. They're huge! And for sunflowers, these are gigantic. Must be a really important memory. Sunflowers. My grandmother grew sunflowers. This must be her garden. Your grandmother? This must be made up of your memories of her. Yes. We should understand what happened when we get to the end. And it's going to open up everything because I'm already rank 10 with Uta. Right, just before I proceed, I'll be back in just a minute. I'm going to turn my fan on because I'm getting a bit hot in my room. We're past the heat wave, thankfully, but it doesn't change the fact that it's still summer, and I'm just starting to feel a bit of the burn. Because that's the thing, like, usually when summer comes around, I'm not streaming. Like, I'll do my Let's Play stuff, like back when I used to do Let's Plays instead. But then I spend most of the rest of the day, like, with all my doors and windows, like, wide open, so it's not as much, so it doesn't matter about the noise pollution. And like maybe I would go find a cooler part of the house, or I'd just turn my console off entirely. Whilst now, I'm streaming, I got to consider the weather and the temperature of myself as I go through, so I don't burn myself through. Oh yeah, and here's the world's most useless hint. Kokoro's like, hey, maybe you can see better if you look over the top. Yeah, thanks, Kokoro. Maybe I'll just do this instead. Oh right, we need to actually fight these enemies. They're new now. And we might need this loot later. But yeah, it is a lot cooler, thank goodness. We're not in like the high 30s anymore, we're in like the mid 20s, which is still, warm. It's still nice and warm and toasty in places, but it's, manageable. Yeah, because we're going to make that piano. That's the rank 8 thing for Uta, isn't it? The piano. Uta, you're good at your other classes. Why is it just Japanese that's so hard for you? I don't know. Are you that bad at reading comprehension? You always score well in your kanji dictation text. Try making a habit of reading novels, and when you read, make sure that you're always thinking about how the character feels. How do you think this character feels? Never answered this question even once. It might be natural for everyone else, but I've never been able to think about how other people feel. How Grandma felt back then. I don't know the answer to that either, even now. Oh, there's recipes to get in here as well. Forgot about that. Yeah, because Coco's advice is to climb up these to get a better, like, to get yourself a better situation in the surrounding. But problem with that, the wall's too high anyway. So I like, please, Coco, you know. Literally, just like, if we climb up something, we'll be able to see the path from above. I mean, you can kind of see it, but I think this should have been much higher. Or, I don't know, there should have been something else. Like, maybe if they like made it like it was like a maze, and this map couldn't be seen until you reached the end of it or something. And then had them taller, so it was more vital that you actually used your own eyes to figure it out. Sort of like, what was the area called? In Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, the park. There's like a dungeon in a park, and it's like, you really can't figure out where you're going and where's safe. Because there's a bunch of like enemies waiting to gang on you, and depending on where you stand and where you are, those enemies move, and if they cross your path, they will use a teleport spell on you and kick you out. And so the puzzle was getting to high up platforms, seeing where they were currently, and then navigating around them. Because you couldn't see those enemies on your map, on your mini-map or anything. You could only see them with your own eyes, so you had to like find like vantage points. That's what it kind of feels like it should have been. Just obviously not with the teleporting enemies, because that was really frustrating in Nocturne. As much as I love SMT3 Nocturne, I'm glad I Let's Played it and not live streamed it, because I had a guide on standby for the entire Let's Play just to make sure I got through it. And I think doing a live stream of it, I would get through it eventually, but it would be a lot of going the wrong way for a lot of it. Even if I've played it a bunch of times, I still always have a guide on standby just to kind of make sure I get through it. Speaking of SMT though, the fan translation of the PS1 port for SMT1 is entirely finished and open to the public now. I saw online, and I've seen a few people have been playing it, that I think it's SMT1 and 2, the PS1 ports that never originally made it outside Japan, have been entirely fan translated from start to finish now. It might just be 1, I can't remember, I haven't looked into it. So, you know, there's SMT1 and 2 love if you want to ever wanted to try them out, just get the fan translation and run a PS1 emulator. Meanwhile, my main focus is going to be waiting for Soul Hackers, because Soul Hackers 2 has been less than a month away now, I think. Sunflower Maze. I guess there'll be a maze up ahead. That's so dangerous. We better make sure nobody gets lost. Did your true feelings slip out for a second there? No? Like, everyone around is kind of glaring like, really? Yes, really? Seriously? It's interesting, like, this little scene, they say next to nothing on it, but like, I think I've brought it up before, in the database for Uta, she talks about how she hates it because it feels like it's emphasizing the difficulty of who she is. And I was like, I wish she brought that up, that it made her go, huh. You know, like she made it like that sort of idea, but it doesn't. I think one way to read was this one, since it was the one we got. I spot graffiti around town from time to time. I was sure that it said Nico, but apparently it's hero. If you're trying to be a hero, it's probably better things to do than graffiti. Oh my god. Sorry. Hang on. Block and report spam. Get that out of there. I just got a text and it's like, there seems to be an issue with your Apple Pay. I don't use any Apple anything. So yeah, I don't use any Apple anything. So come on. You know, come on. My phone's a Google phone. I don't have anything Apple anything in my house. Oh, my mum does, but I don't. Oh dear. Good old. It's been a while since I've got a random spam text like that. Sorry, that threw me off. It threw me off my kilter for a second. That completely distracted me. I just saw it. I was like, what the fuck? Sorry. But I wish there was more like personal talk of those location scenes, like the hero thing with Al. That's probably reflective of her desire to be something more, to be a hero. You know, but it's graffitied because, you know, graffiti is seen as something, you know, less by a lot of the common public, unfortunately. Well, it's usually seen as like gangster art or sort of thing. So it's the fact that she, you know, she saw herself as less than everyone, but she wanted to be more. Like, you know, it's multi-layered symbolism like that, and I wish they talked about it more in these instances, but they kind of don't. It's like the only thing I kind of wish they did is that they sat on these location scenes a little bit more and talked about things a little bit more. Uta, do you have any hobbies? Nothing in particular. Oh, really? Is there anything you like or anything you've been into lately? Not really. I see. Well, that happens, I guess. Am I weird? Huh? I've been called this a lot, so am I? I wouldn't say weird, but I guess I don't really understand you. We never really know what you're thinking, or what you think of us, so I see. Speaking of piano wire, can we trigger Uta's rank 8 now? I forgot. But do we have to wait until a little later, or can we trigger our rank 8 now? Then actually we'd be able to make that piano and get things in place. I might quickly check since we're early-ish on anyway. Like, will we trigger scene if we run around over here? No, okay. So no, we don't have access to our rank 8 yet. We have to actually wrap this up. And I'll get this as well since we're here. May, you're watching that movie again? That film's absolutely ancient. What's so interesting about it? The town is beautiful and the design of the street lamps. Oh, you have some interesting ideas. Excuse me, enemies. We're in a position now. It's like I kind of don't need any of your stuff, so I just want to just want to press on. We need to go all the way up to get this. Oh, whoops. Oh, because I left, it's going to redo the gear level 3 animation. Oh well. I just wanted to see if we could tweak the rank 8 now, because I remember like we getting the piano wire and immediately having a use for it. But I guess I'm just getting muddled. Because I'm pretty sure that was what Uta's rank 8 was, the piano. And it's not something else for some reason. Because like, after this, it's that you have to make the contraption for the final dungeon, and then off you go. But it will still take us a bit, because we've got the Uta rank 8 and 10 scenes, we've got the next dates, we've got that final entourage of pick who you want to talk with bit, which when we get to, if I recognize it in time and spot it, I kind of want to like spend some time, manual save before it, and then go through the variant of it with one character, load, and then the next, then load, then next, and just go through everyone. Just because I'm really curious, like what everyone's like scenes for those bits are. Since they're, you know, kind of the last proper, like, hurrah you get with those three. You know, the whole, who's this letter written from? That one. Right, now this is the secret bit that's opened up for hitting this rank. So let's go get the loot here. Hitting this talent level even. Yeah, you know what the biggest giveaway for me that it's not as hot as it has been? Is the fact that I put my fan on and I already feel like I've got like a slight chill on my spine. Like I might actually turn my fan off again in a bit. Whilst back during the heat wave, I'd have my fan on and after a while it just felt like it was hot air going against my back. Super attack! It still makes me grin every time I hear Hiyori shout that. It never gets old to me. Just how into it she gets of everything. Hiyori's the sort of person you'd absolutely love to just have a friend in real life. Like, I'd say that I'd love any of these characters to be real. I think they'd all be like lovely people that you'd want to hang with all the time. But like Hiyori really sticks out as like that one friend that you just makes you smile regardless. Can this enemy like give up and move away a little? I think I'm in your vision cone regardless of where I am. That's the problem. It's just I remember last time we had an enemy like this. I ended up clipping into the ladder and had to warp out of there. And I'm paranoid that this is gonna happen. Because although it wasn't in this area, it was in this dungeon, I believe, that I ended up like clipping into a ladder because of an enemy being right on it. I think it was in like the third layer. I ended up clipping into a ladder or something. God, the rate Hina hits rank 5, isn't it? Okay, good. I didn't clip into the ladder. Good. I got room. So that was the only reason why I wanted the enemy to go away, because I was paranoid I'd clip in. Since I'm aware that can happen, of course I'm going to be like paying attention to try and hopefully avoid it. So this is slightly more helpful because it's higher up. See, Coco, now if you'd met that message saying, hey, let's go up there, like you can kind of see around there. You can see where the next one is from here, so it's actually helpful. You can see that there's an item over there behind the house. Like this one's actually a helpful one. It's just the rest of them, Coco. I think that hint message should have come up when you approached this one. I think if that one came up with that one, then it'd be a bit clearer that you should be using that one. Because as it stands, when you get that note, like almost all of these feel useless to try and use to see your way forward. Especially because you can just tap that to bring up the map at any time. Like we said, when this game's over, you're playing this game downright iconic. I mean, 30 plus sessions is next level. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to go this long. To be honest, when I went into this, I was expecting to enjoy it about as much as the first. I was like, okay, the first game was really charming and had a lot of things I liked about it. I'm sure the second game will just be more polished, sure. I even expected it to be around as long. I thought it'd be done in like 8 or 9 streams. So the fact that like 4 or 5 streams in, I was hooked. And my love for the game just continued to like expand out and out to such an extent that I ended up doing a second playthrough. And now, you know, with this far in, it's like, yeah, like this game's ended up being a humongous deal for me, and I love it, and then I love what it represents, and it feels like, I don't know if iconic's the right word for me, but it does feel like this is almost like a very like definitive like series for the channel. Like, it feels like I found my groove, found what I liked, and found what I want to be a lot more with this than any of the other games I've played up until this point. If that makes sense. Like, I felt like I knew what, when I was going through this, I knew what I wanted, and I know what I want to be when streaming. And, you know, the fact that it also kind of opened the door for me as, like, I want to suddenly, all of a sudden I started wanting to play more Gust games again, which I haven't really, you know, been a Gust person for years. So I really liked Ryza, but I never bothered with Ryza 2, nor Ryza 1's DLC. I got this on a whim because it was on sale, and I ended up really liking it. Like, the fact that this ended up having as much significance to me as it is, and like how much it's kind of represented what I want to take with this channel. Like, I always want it to kind of have a more positive vibe, you know? I don't... Like, obviously we're going to play more serious games, and there'll be a point where we play darker games. Like, I've already played a horror game on this channel, or live streaming and whatnot. This is your breakthrough game? I guess so. Not necessarily in terms of, like... what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe not in terms of, like, you know, the standard defined breakthrough game. Like, I'm not suddenly breaking thousands of views or anything like that. But in terms of finding my identity, this game feels like the one where I felt like I was the most comfortable with what I wanted to do as I've gone through it. Like, I feel the most relaxed. Like, this game just feels like returning to an old friend. And it should feel like that with every stream I do. It should just feel like I'm just chilling out with you guys and just, you know, enjoying it. And I feel that the most when playing this. Which is probably why it won't be that long before I dive into another Gust game. So it's going to be a bit, just because I don't want to be in the middle of one and then Soul Hackers 2. Especially because that week when Soul Hackers 2 comes out, it's already going to be very cluttered. Because Genshin 3.0 launches in the same week. But at some point, I am absolutely going to go for Ryza. And at some point, I'll probably even go for Ryza 2. I'll probably go for the Atlas Sophie games. I might try out the... what's that other game they do? Knights of Azure, I think it's called. I have never played any of those games, so I'm kind of curious. They might be another, like, secret hit, sort of like how this game feels for me. Well, I say secret. The reason why I ended up paying attention to this and putting both this and the first game on my wish list to pay attention if there was ever a sale or anything to then get on a whim is because when this game came out, there were a few people on Twitter that kept talking about it. I'll say, and it wasn't like necessarily people talking about how much they loved it. It was people kept on saying, oh, most people nowadays aren't playing these games, they're playing yada yada, and they'd bring up Blue Reflection. And I'd be like, oh, so it's not like a super niche, it has significance then. You know, like, it's not like only 2 people have played it, like, it's significant enough that people are saying that it's around, that people are playing it, sort of thing. So I was like, oh, okay, so people are interested in it, and I guess people liked it. And because it was Gust, I was like, oh, okay, so it's probably fun then, so I liked Ryza. So I put them both on my wish list. As in, it just happened to work out, they went on sale, and just happened to work out that I then got them, and ended up loving them. And I'm also glad that I started with the first game, because originally I only wishlisted the second game, and it was only later on that I was like, no, I should probably start from the beginning, and so put the first game on as well. If I just jumped to this, I think I still would have loved this, because of this pure quality of the writing, but I think there are some subtle things about it that I wouldn't have appreciated as much if I didn't have the first game to compare it to. I feel like a lot of the magic of this game is what it improves upon, what it can, and what it uses your knowledge of from the first. I don't know if that sounds rambly, but hopefully you get what I mean. And it's why even this is no other game I can think of I've outside of some of the Let's Plays I used to do, have I done a second playthrough with my footage. You know? Like, the only times I ever touched a second playthrough, it was a Let's Play, so my throat's going a little bit, was the Death End games, because there's post-game content. And in Death End 2, there's a New Game Plus ending. But I didn't record the entire game again, I just recorded the important bits throughout the second playthrough. Whilst live streaming, you can't really do that as much, you know? But so this is the first proper time I can think of where I've proper committed to showcasing an entire second playthrough of a game, because I loved it that much. I hear a voice, the voice of my dead grandma. I hear it whenever I see this field of yellow. The yellow takes over my mind completely, making me lose my train of thoughts. Damn it. This feeling of not knowing how I feel, it makes me sick. Such a feeling should not exist. Go away. And, like, I have to give credit to this game, it inspired one of the characters in the book I've been working on. There was a character, I think I've mentioned it before, that I had been kind of toying with for a very long time. That was sort of similar, but not completely to what Uta is in this. But I really wasn't sure how to handle that character. But then after playing this, I had a lot more assurance because I had something to kind of base my reference off. I had Uta's character to base it off. Because I wanted a character that came across extremely different and awkward and like difficult to understand, but you knew they didn't mean it, like you knew they couldn't help it, that kind of attitude, that kind of character. And that's kind of Uta, you know, in spades. But I didn't know how to write them, and then I saw Uta, I was kind of like, oh, okay, and it gave me some pointers, it gave me a bit more of an idea of how I could take that character in my book. I hate them. Go away. I played some Knights of Azure on PS Extra, and it's pretty fun. It's like Persona Scramble, but you summon Familiar to fight for you, and the main character has a cute vibe of a partner. Okay. It's another thing on the list. I said, I know you weren't there for the Dangan stream. In the Dangan stream, I said that at the end of this month, basically when my full disclosure, when my payday comes in from my actual job, I do plan to upgrade. I don't know if I'll upgrade to Extra or Premium, I haven't decided yet. But I do plan to upgrade, just to try and get easier access to those things, because for me, I'm thinking in the long term, it will make streaming less awkward, so I don't have to worry about, you know, having to buy the next game and whatnot. I can just be like, oh, it's on part of the Extra, it was part of the Premium, okay. You know? Like, it ends up, like, the Game Pass and, like, PlayStation's Game Pass, because that's basically what it is, ends up actually being extremely beneficial for smaller streamers like myself, because then it becomes less of a money issue to keep on top of things, you know? If there's, like, this brand new big release that's about to come out, there's a chance it'll be on the Premium, or on the PlayStation Game Pass, and so I don't have to worry about burning another £60, I can just get it. But I am curious about Knights of Azure. Because I didn't even realise it was a Gust game, if I'm honest. I was aware of it, but I didn't realise it was Gust. And over the years, Gust has kind of like... I have to be careful how I word this. PS2 and early PS3 era Gust, I didn't care for any of their games. I played some of them, but they just weren't my thing, which is why I kind of drifted from them so hard. But modern Gust, I love modern Gust. I feel like the grooves they have nowadays that they've built upon and built upon and built upon is phenomenal, and I love this company. I love their work. It's just it took them a while to get there, so I don't want to be like, oh, it's one of my favourite companies, because no, they weren't always. Unfortunately, some of the companies that were my favourite companies as a kid are kind of all over the place. Like, I love Square Enix, but holy shit, do they make really baffling business decisions. You know, like, even more recently with the Final Fantasy VII NFTs, and it's like, the entire game is about rebelling against a corporation that's exploiting the world's resources for money. And you failed to see the irony when you made an NFT about that game. Square's that out of touch. You know, like, come on. But I still love their games. It's just, you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, fuck, come on, Square. Or like Capcom in the PS3 era. Like, 2013 was arguably the worst year of the company. Because we had the Devil May Cry reboot, we had Dead Rising 3, we had, I think that was Resident Evil 6, we had Remember Me, which to be fair was an alright game, but no one played it. The only games that did okay were the handhelds, which was, I think it was one of the Phoenix Wrights and Monster Hunter 4. Like, 2013 was such an awful year to be a Capcom fan, because nothing worked and nothing was fun. Whilst nowadays, Capcom did this whole, why don't we just make games like we made them in the PS2 era? And lo and behold, they're fantastic! It's like, why don't we just make games like it was, back in our golden era? Make those kind of just gamey games first that just want to have fun, and then we worry about the rest later. Lo and fucking behold, they're fun, and people love them, and they do well. Like, it's part of the reason why I want to do a Resident Evil marathon at some point, because I'd want to go through the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake again at some point, because I love those games. I know people don't like 3 remake as much because of how much was cut from the original, but I still really liked it. I didn't want to see my grandmother, Uta. I didn't understand people's emotions. I didn't understand why my grandmother wanted to see me. So when she died, I didn't feel anything. But now... Do you like sunflowers, Uta? Well then Grandma would just have to grow some. Since you said you liked them, Grandma will have to grow these sunflowers with extra love. After she died, my mother asked me if I wouldn't try going to visit my grandmother's house one last time. It had been almost 5 years since our last visit. When we arrived, this whole place was filled with sunflowers, just like this. At the time I didn't understand why she grew them, but now I feel a pain in my chest when I think about it. What is this? Someone tell me, what is this pain in my chest? Oh, I've already fought 5 of you. Uta, over here. Okay, yeah, run to me, baby, come here. It's okay. It's okay, Uta. Your answer is right in front of you. It's only so funny fighting this thing now. We've fought the level 50 variant of it. What level are you? 42. Yeah, okay. Those mooks aren't going to help you. Those little extras you have with you, they're not going to help you. There goes one. I want to do the honors with the other. God damn it, Al! God damn it, you're so close. Oh, that wasn't enough. Oh, now it will be. I don't know if you'd know the reference or the comparison, Camo, but speaking of Knights of Azure, you say like it's a little bit more actiony, but you summon familiars to fight for you, and the main character has a cute vibe with it. Is it sort of like the Devil Summoner Raido games? I don't know if you know what that is, because that's like there's niche and then there's niche. And Atlus's most niche franchise is the Devil Summoners. But they had a game where it was more action-orientated, and you still summoned like personas, so to speak, but it was like an action game with those personas / demons. Is it kind of like that, where it feels a bit more actiony and there are a lot more with you? Or is it more like I guess Pokemon, I guess, where it's more creatures that you summon to fight for you? Or a mixture of both, where you can't summon creatures to fight for you, but it is a bit more of an action game vibe. Speaking of that, I hope Raido gets ported one day. I know it won't, unfortunately. Because the main character causes contention in some countries because I think he's partially Korean and partially Chinese. Or or something like that. Like, I can't remember what the detail is, but like the heritage of the character makes it awkward for it to be released, and like on some versions of the game he straight up has to be removed from anything he shows up in. Like when he showed up as a guest character in Nocturne HD, he's straight up not in every single version of the game, just because of like some issues in China or something. I might be wrong on that. I know it's like it's a country there's problems with, but I can't remember what it is, but that might be what stops Raido from ever getting ported to modern platforms, unfortunately. Uta! Yes? That feeling in your chest, I know that it's something very important to you. The fact that you couldn't understand people always bothered you. You thought that you may be broken. Isn't that right? Yes. But it's not like that now. It's taken time, but after spending time with all of us here, you've begun to understand. Also played some Death End 2 up until Chapter 1, and Roddy is adorable. I think I played Sheena too, unless the brunette girl has very similar sprite animations by coincidence. No, that is Sheena. That's an adult Sheena. That's a bit more grown-up Sheena. But yeah, I love Rotty. Rotty's one of my, like, up there with one of my favourites. She's on my banner on Twitter for a reason. I love Roddy. I also love that Rotty is, and you'll notice it more as you go through it, she is extremely open about her sexuality and extremely open about how much she crushes on Mai. I mean, I think if you're in Chapter 1, you've already seen that prologue bit where Rotty kind of pervs on her. She spires on her in the shower. Like Rotty is like head over heels in love with Mai. And it's adorable. And I love the relationship that Mai and Rotty get throughout the course of the game, where Mai goes from absolutely just like wanting nothing to do with Rotty and wanting to be left alone, to eventually slowly but surely getting more and more endeared by her. Especially if you do all the optional scenes, because in Death End 2, most of the optional scenes are only available if you complete every side quest as soon as it's available. Because most side quests will then unlock more optional scenes in the following chapter. Like if you say you do all of Chapter 2's side quests, you'll get more scenes in Chapter 3. And then if you do them all in Chapter 3, you get more scenes in Chapter 4, and so on and so forth. Some of them are kind of cheeky, like it'll be like, get a specific item, and the item is like behind the boss of the chapter, so you have to literally circle the boss to get it. But you'll notice those things. If there's ever a point where there's a boss, but you can clearly see that there's firstly a way around the event marker, and secondly there's area behind it, go check the area behind before you trigger the event marker, and see if you can do everything and turn it all in. Second time, after spending time with all of us here, you've begun to understand. Your grandmother loved you. I know you can see that now. Uta, they're wrong. You don't care about your grandmother. Do you remember? The pain. The pain is all you need. You don't need the crutch that is emotion. Uta, it's okay. Believe in yourself. Hiyori. The fragment. I was lonely. And so were you. What nonsense are you on about? No one understands you. No one accepts you. You felt so alone. Enough! Is this what human emotion is? No! Don't! Stop trying to understand me! It's pointless. After all, I'm you, and you're me. Oh, such a precious smile. Uta. It's not enough for either of us. I'm in no position to ask for forgiveness, and yet you still. I love this bit because this is in this moment, Uta is kind of almost letting evil Uta take control to explain herself before kind of finding that middle ground that she is afterwards. Because you could see it in her stance, how she's standing. Like, she's being a lot more, like, directly antagonistic in how she's glaring at Hiyori. Like, this isn't, like, it's still our Uta, but it's like she's letting that dark side of herself to have just enough influence to stay her peace. Why do you do all these terrible things? Because it's fun, of course. We were collecting fragments. You stood in our way. We were enemies. Yeah, we were. All emotions were nothing but a lie. Pain was the only thing I trusted. Such a world filled with lies and deceit was painful for me. That's why I tried to destroy it all. I didn't need emotions. If I could only steal the fragments, it would bring me closer to my ideal world. That was my fault. We were fundamentally incompatible. I'm sure you must have hated me. Am I wrong? Yep. Don't look at me like that! The more I remember, the less I understand. You have no reason to be so kind to me. So why? Why else? We all saw in your memories of your grandmother. You suffered too. Stop! I don't want your pity! I should hate you. Hiyori! It's okay. Let's go home, Uta. Mio is waiting for us. Hiyori, Uta, Mio. Oh, it's a big sis. Because that's what she said. You can hear it said Oni-chan. I don't understand you two. If I only realize after covering my memories, you and I will never understand each other. Isn't that right? Yes, that may very well have been the case. My existence is something that you can't tolerate. The cross I bear isn't something so easily solved. But I know that you want to change. Also, no crack appeared. That is proof from this world that you kept your promise. That alone shouldn't be enough to absolve me of... Enough! I'm tired of this! What? Then I'll never forgive you! What? You can spend the rest of your life atoning for what you've done. Together with us. Unbelievable, all of you. It seems I'll never understand people's emotions, no matter how hard I try. I can't just abandon my old self behind so easily. Indeed, that part of me will always exist somewhere inside. It tries to tempt me, telling me just how good it would feel to destroy everything. But I won't. I understand that now is not the time for that. I don't want to die like this. So, if this is the way I can make amends to you all, I will share with you what I know. The connection with God I once had. And that little zap, that little flash of the screen, now it's... Uta has pushed that darkness to one side properly again. Like, she knows it's a part of her and she's accepted it, but now it's the Uta we know better. It's okay. It's cool, dude. Don't worry about it. It's like now like the static, that static that we saw a second ago was Uta. Now she's accepted her whole self being the Uta we know and not letting that darker side of her influence her as much. Huh? What? Uta? No, that wasn't me. I didn't... Damn you, get out of my way! Okay, I get it. Stop yelling in my head like that. Uta, you okay? Which one are you? Which do you think? No, I'm sorry. I don't really know myself. But what I do know is that I'll never forget the things that happened here, and that my old self is... somewhere inside me. I don't think that's such a bad thing. Huh? All those things together, they're what make you, you. It's not the old you and the new you. Both of those things together are what make Uta. Hiyori. I may try to hurt you again one day, you know. And I'll stop you with everything I've got. So don't worry so much. Let's all get along. Gross. I don't know if we need to do all that all of a sudden. What do you mean, gross? We're friends, aren't we? Hiyori's permanent positivity is so overwhelming at times. But even Uta's just like, don't stop it. don't come any closer, get away from me. Oh, come on, stop running away. Perhaps this is the best we could have hoped for. I think you're right. I'm glad Uta has Hiyori. In Azure, you can summon up to 4 familiars that are AI controlled, but you can command them to do stronger attacks. They have personalities and they have health bars, staying with you till they die. Okay, so I'm getting more like mainline SMT vibes then, when you summon demons to fight alongside you. It's just you don't control them as much. Like, you can influence and order them, but they still do their own thing. Glad Uta has Hiyori. Looks like we finally hold up the same goal. Yeah, let's see what Uta has to tell us then. Oh, it looks like she's gonna dive on her. Uta, come back. I'm being chastised by Hiyori. Chased. We'll meet you in the classroom. Seems like they're having fun. Yeah, I'm glad. Uta's got her next talent. Oh boy, yeah, because we really need the attack boost. Because we really needed that attack boost. Hang on. Hiyori. Yeah, because we really need that attack boost. Step 671. My god. Is that everything? Is that everything for everyone? I think it is. Nice, okay, everyone's maxed. And look how many points we have spare for some of these. Like, some of these things are not like the others. Some people have loads of points spare. Oh, so this isn't the big triple decker, right? That's the one that's in the classroom later. So who does this involve? And since we've maxed out everyone, we can just pick whoever we want. Oh, hey, what are you guys talking about? Hey, Al, so we're thinking about planting some new flowers in the garden, but we just can't decide on what kind of flowers to plant. Come to think of it, the garden's been looking pretty nice lately. Oh, that's because Uta has been... No, it's all thanks to Hiyori and Mio for helping me tend it. Sorry, I'm a little lost. Well, first, Mio and I saw that Uta was taking care of the garden on her own. So we decided to help her out, but then we got really into it. Then we all thought we should plant more flowers, and we started discussing what to plant. Wow, that's really cool, Uta. But why were you tending the garden by yourself in the first place? Atonement, I suppose. For the things I've done in the past, the trouble I've caused because of my inability to interact with you properly. Uta, you don't need to... That isn't all. I fear that my other self, one from my past, will re-emerge and destroy this life we share. I can't stop worrying about that, so another reason I tend to the garden is to keep my mind off such thoughts. I see. You have a lot on your shoulders, don't you? Hiyori and Mio were kind enough to lend a hand to my selfish ritual. I told you before, there's nothing selfish about it. What you're doing is a good thing. Yes, you don't need to punish yourself for the choices that the other Uta couldn't make. I think so too. You're a very strong person, Uta. If that is true, it is because of everyone accepting me for who I am. Anyway, I believe we were discussing what colour flower we'd like to paint. Plants. Hiyori wanted pink flowers, Mio wanted blue ones, and I thought violet would be nice. Which colour would you think would be best, Al? Man, I said violet last time, so I feel like I shouldn't agree with her again. Wait, who was who? Hiyori's pink, Mio blue. So it's literally Hiyori, Mio, Uta. Who should I go with? Special moves can vary too, like there's one that pushes enemies back and tanks, and a frail healer one. You can also set your favourite familiar so it also auto-summons. It also has a gear system. Okay. Well, so I'll get to it when because I do want to try it at some point. It's on the bucket list, so I'll get to it. There's a whole bunch of games on the bucket list that are actually a part of like the premium plan, so we might go quite crazy of just trying out a bunch of different things. Especially with the RPG side of things after Soul Hackers. But I gotta get through, you know, like, what day is it? The 23rd, so we gotta go for like another week yet. What do you think, Camo? What are you thinking? What flower should I go with? Should I feed into bias, or should I try and see different scenes? Because they're all maxed out, so it doesn't matter who I pick. So pink is Hiyori, blue is Mio, and purple are Uta. I'll give you another 10 seconds, so I need to click one eventually. I can't just sit here forever. Mio. Mio was blue. Okay. How about blue flowers, like Mio suggested? Blue flowers would make the garden feel refined and neat. Yes, I do think everybody else would enjoy them as well. It'd be so nice if everyone could appreciate what you've done for the garden, wouldn't it, Uta? Yes, it was thanks to the help of those two that this garden had blossomed. I would enjoy sharing it with the others as well. And blue flowers suit you so well, Mio. Me? So elegant and serene. They have a strong presence, even without calling attention to themselves. Wow, it really does sound like Mio. I don't think I'm that cool. Can't wait to see the new flowers. Can I help too? Of course, Al. The garden will be beautiful no matter what flowers we plant, I'm sure of it. Well, let's water these flowers so we think about what kind of flowers we plant next. Yes, let's. I can't wait. You know, this is nice. Had we not come here, we may never have found ourselves watering a garden full of flowers together. True, I feel content. I used to think everyday life was nothing but a bore. But the days that we do these mundane things are far more precious than I ever expected. Aww. I don't doubt we can do any dates right now, right? Yeah, no, we have to actually do plot. And we can't twig Uta's rank 8 either, I imagine. Now then, I'll tell you everything I know. I'm ready. Before we talk about that structure, there's something you should know about my former ambitions. My original goal was to remake the world as I pleased. As you pleased? A world without feelings, bonds, or any of the other things I couldn't comprehend. That structure was created in order to achieve that. I called it Origin. Origin. Origin is the creator of this world we live in. Its laws, and everything in it. What? Exactly. The human mind is incapable of comprehending it. We don't know where it exists, or how it created the world. That is Origin. Origin. There's something you ought to refer to as the world system, correct? Yeah, it's our enemy, I guess you could say. If I had to guess, I'd say that it's also somehow connected to Origin. So Origin is something even more powerful than the world system? Perhaps, but as I said, it's just a hypothesis. The truth of the matter is beyond human understanding. It's possible that the world system and Origin are one and the same, or perhaps it was the world system that created Origin. Even the name Origin is simply my own name for it. I don't know what it's really called. Azure 1 is also a PS3 Vita title that was released in 2015, so expect some jank. Was it ported to modern platforms then? I haven't played Bride and New Moon yet. What the fuck's that one? Is that the second game? Is that but it probably cleaned it up like the one do film. I guess that's the second game. That's Bride and New Moon. That's a crazy subtitle. Damn. That's a crazy subtitle. I love games that do that, by the way. I love games that just go fucking wild with their subtitles. That's like, you just read that and you go, what the hell? It's part of the. It's another thing that I love about the Castlevania series. In their prime, all of the Castlevanias had like crazy as shit subtitles, and then you read some of the ones that never happened, like some of the ones that were in the drawing board but never made it, and I'm like, man, Rhapsody of the Eclipse, and you're like, fucking, that's just insane. It was like the actual like ones that made it. Like we've got after Rondo of Blood, it was like Symphony of the Night. I was like, that's so cool because it was like, you know, it's a symphony of everything coming together. It's not like it's an actual plot MacGuffin. It's like, that's such a cool subtitle. And then it's like, you know, you had Laments of Innocence, you had Curse of Darkness, you had Circle of the Moon, you had Harmony of Dissonance, you had Aria of Sorrow, you had Portrait of Ruin, you had The Order of Ecclesia. You know, like you had all these badass subtitle names for the Castlevanias. I love it when games do that. When they just go crazy with the subtitles. It's like they have, it's almost like a degree of like showing off. It's like, yeah, bitch, we got this crazy ass subtitle in our game. You know, it doesn't always have to be like blunt to the point of what the game is. Sometimes you need a subtitle that's just like super edgy and extra. Speaking of Yuki, yeah? You mentioned that everyone is in danger because of your presence here. The truth is, that's only true from your own human perspective. Yuki was dead, and the world system brought her back, that's a fact. But even Yuki can only guess as to why, and for what purpose, is that right? Come to think of it, she did mention something like that. Why would the world system do such a thing? Who knows? How can I possibly understand how God thinks? Come to think of it, you might be right. We have to accept that this is what we are facing. Facing God. There is only one thing I know for certain. Origin is the creator of this world. And so this is why I think they could do a third game. Because you don't destroy the world system in this game. You destroy Origin. Which is something that the world system was linked to, but it's not world system. World system as an entity still exists and is still around. So I feel like the third game could be actually going after world system, because world system as a concept was in the first game as well. It's a continuing narrative that things from the world system is affecting their world. So if they ever do a third one, they could finally, you know, make it like the wrap up of the trilogy and push for it. Which is why it is also, I kind of hope every playable character in this game comes back in the third, because I feel like they would be necessary to finish the fight. They deserve the right to see this through to the very end. Like, I'd want a third game to kind of have everyone, like, I'd have User and Line be playable as well, but have everyone back from both games, as well as maybe a couple new faces to push for the end. Maybe have a couple extra faces from the anime, maybe have a couple extra faces from the mobile game, because I'm aware that there are reflectors in the mobile game that aren't in the anime nor this. You know, like, bring it all together, make it like one big, like, almost... maybe not have too many characters, I don't know how they'd balance that, to make it so everyone still gets a healthy amount of screen time, because if you have way too many, it starts to become slightly overwhelming, in terms of having to make sure everyone gets it. You start to get the Persona Q problem, where there's too many cooks, and suddenly the characters end up feeling a little bit more primitive versions of themselves, because there's so many faces they have to, like, remember. But just have it at least so everyone's acknowledged. Maybe most of them are side characters or something, but at least make sure they're all involved somehow. You think the one certain. Origin is the creator of this world. How can you know for sure, Uta? Didn't you say it's beyond human comprehension? Only a god can comprehend a god. I learned it from the Sephira. The Sephira. What lime... What Uta... What lime? Wow, my brain. What Uta considers a god and what we consider a god are slightly different. The gods Uta is referring to are the Sephira, the same beings Hina reflected. User and Lime did say you had the power of a Sephira. Yes, that's right. I used that power to try and reconstruct the world by offering my fragment to Origin. But my plan was thwarted, aka the anime happened, and that's what brings us to now. I think I get it. Actually, no, I don't get it at all, I'm lost. So, how did such a thing appear inside Ao's heart? That, I don't know either. Everything I've just told you still doesn't explain why Origin exists within Ao's heart. If anything, it simply raises even more questions. The more I think about it, the more impossible it seems. The scenery inside the Heartscapes has always been based on memories. Then she must have seen this Origin somewhere before. You saw Origin? Yeah, in your loop. Maybe Ao really did lose her memory. Unsure of its support, but Bright and New Moon is only on PS4, so it'll be more optimized. Azure One holds up. But I mean as in, like, is Azure One on, like, an actual PS4 version? Like, it's not actually running off PS3. Like, can I play it off my PS4 as a PS4 title so it's not being streamed, it can be downloaded? That's more what I was asking, Camo, for the first one. Azure One holds up looks-wise, in my opinion. Might be a proper 2015 release that came out of everything. Okay, that's what I mean. That's more what I was just checking on. I was like, does it have an actual PS4 version that can be downloaded, installed, and played? Because that's the only paranoia I've had, that some of the PS3 titles, because they'd be streamed and not native, the input lag might make them harder to enjoy, especially if Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 get that treatment and come up to it, I will still play them and still enjoy them. But if the input lag's bad, it will kind of really work against the speedrunning nature of those games, because the input lag will be felt, and I don't want that, you know? Something tinkered around inside her heart. Is that possible? Uta, everyone, thank you for the help. I think I need a little time to think. Of course. I'm sure this is a lot to take in. Ow. Oh, it has a PS4 version, I wouldn't have access otherwise. Oh yeah, that's a fair point. You unfortunately don't have the PS3 streaming side full fucking stop, unfortunately. One day they will, they'll do something for you guys. So one day they'll help out the Aussies. Fuck it, who knows when, but one day, inside my heart, someone manipulated my memory. It must have been then. They must have planted a memory of something I never experienced. Either that, or I've actually seen Origin and my memory has just been erased. But even if I had seen it, where could that possibly have been? I was just living an ordinary life. There's no way I would have something like that. There's no way. Unless my original goal was to remake the world as I pleased. Origin is the creator of the world we live in, its laws and everything in it. Be reborn. Origin exists to reconstruct the world. Up until now, we've only thought about how to get back to the real world and our lives there. But what we should have been worrying about is how to make it so we weren't taken from our lives at all. Even if we can't make the world go back to how it was, we can at least give everyone there their lives as they were. We could rebuild the world just like it was by doing what Uta was trying to do before. If we can just reconstruct the same world from scratch, then everyone's lives should go back to normal. Be reborn. Those words weren't meant for me. It's about the world. But then, what will happen to me? Exactly is what I said. No human with the name Ao Hoshizaki has ever existed in our world. What will happen to the world I lived in? Will I never be able to return to my world? Am I really okay with that? Can I really trust this mysterious text message? Hey, ow! Oh, it's this bit. Oh, I forgot about this. This is the funny get the welcome party with everyone. Whoa! Whoa! Are you okay? Having trouble coming up with an answer? Yeah, pretty much. Don't mind me, though. What's up? Would you mind coming with me? Huh? Something wrong? I just figured you could use a break from thinking. Though a walk might just take your... Thought might just... Blah, 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 blah. Thought a walk might take your mind off things. Okay. I wonder what's gone into her all of a sudden. Oh, it's cloudy. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's got a notification. Let me check. Currently handling dangerous substance in the workroom. Do not enter. Please. Oh. What? Perhaps she's making some more tools to play pranks with. Oh, right. Dangerous substance? What should she be up to? And then Coco's smiling because she knows. Oh, it's Mio and Uta. When did we start using this classroom again? Oh yeah, we used to live with Reina and Shio at first. There's been such a big fuss about tidying up. They did. That feels so long ago now. Stop it, game. Stop doing this whole let's reminisce on the past. It's only quiet, but I don't know if it makes me feel nervous. For some reason I can never relax in quiet hallways. Still locked. I thought recovering user and lives memories might make it open. Yeah, we never did fucking open 2A. The ultimate mystery. That's where the world system's hiding. One totem, two totems. Keep it up, Kirara! What training are they doing? So lively around here now. Really is. The hallways used to be so empty it was almost creepy. Now, there's almost always someone in the halls, and if not, you can hear people in the distance. Yup, it's really comforting. Because I didn't feel, on my first playthrough, I didn't feel that the school was that empty. It was on my second playthrough, when I was used to everyone, then suddenly they were all gone, then it felt empty. When it was just down to back to the basic 4, I was like, oh, everyone's gone. We probably shouldn't go in. But when someone says you can't do something, doesn't it make you want to do it? Have you ever heard of nitroglycerin? Huh? It's a really volatile chemical. Apparently even the slightest impact can cause it to explode. It's used for dynamite, for example. If you open the door now and happen to knock over some chemicals... Wait, is she making that nitro stuff in there? I wonder. So she isn't? Who knows? Wait, is she or isn't she? But if she is, then... Let's go somewhere else. Coco's that one friend who can't hold a poker face and has a cheeky smile while giving a secret. Oh, absolutely. Good choice. She can be cheeky when she wants to be. Like she was just there, but she, yeah, no. If Owl, like, went, like, right up into her face and kind of, like, stared into her eyes, like, Coco would start giggling. I want to see what these two have to say. Well, now they're trying to catch their breath. I could also go back to the 2B and check in on how Mio and Uta are doing. You're a ton of fun to talk to, Kirara. Oh, it's just gonna be one offlines, isn't it? An offering of blood for the totem. It seems I underestimated you, Hiyori. 2A either holds the world system or an Aussie copy of BR1, both forbidden anomalies. I keep saying, one day, dude, it's baffling to me how strict and repressive the policy on games in Australia is still to this day. It just seems so arse backwards at all times. And the fact that it's still like this in 2022 is just obscene. Uta took her first step. It's up to me to match her. Even with my memories, I'm still me, thank goodness. Cloudy. It hasn't rained once though since, you know, we built the thing. The moment we built that firework machine, the weather breaks, I'm sure of it. That's what I'm choosing to blame. Oh, hello, Reina. Oh, hi, Reina. Oh, it's Reina. What are you up to? Well, conducting some kind of research? Yeah, taking some samples. That seems a bit off, but oh well. Don't worry about me, Kokoro's waiting. She's like, go away. I see now. So this is where you wanted to take me. Yeah, I really like this place. It's special. Remember something I said in the last playthrough, that ours Uta's second light? Yeah, I remember that too. Well, this whole game kind of is. So if I put the shipping aside, like, it's Hiyori that kind of pushes her over the edge at the moment. It's just once Uta starts to understand love better, the love starts to become leaned and eventually completely commits to Al. Oh yeah, this is where we were first talking when the Heartscape first appeared and we all started to get to our memories back. It's also the site of that leaky ceiling incident. It was, wasn't it? It was a big pain to get the materials we needed to fix it. And there was the embarrassing memory show and tell. Oh, forget about that. Yeah, you sure, Moonshadow. Don't forget the Extreme School Makeover Planning Committee. That was a pretty big success. The other girls started appearing one by one. And I sometimes wish that this life could last forever. Yeah, I do, Al. But then... in you go. What was that for? Didn't I tell you? To take your mind off things. I'll get you for that. Wait, what are you? Oh, looks like they're having fun. Of course, Hiyori, without hesitation, would be like, I see fun, let's go. I mean, or Kirara, the sensible one. It got dark so quickly. Yeah. Ow, come here. Huh? And it drags by the hand. So what's going on? We should have done this a long time ago, but it's a welcome party for everyone. The three of us who have been here from the start wanted to do this for you guys. What? Oh, I didn't think he was actually serious. If you say you're gonna do something, you gotta commit. We made a lot of food, so eat as much as you like. Yatta! Oh, can I have some more of this? Oh no, it's supposed to be Kokoro. There's still plenty left, so take your time. Kokoro, this is absolutely delicious. Really? That means a lot coming from you, Shio. I could never cook something like this. You'll have to show me how to make it sometime. Of course. I have to say, I'm a little nervous. It's the first time we've had a party like this. So am I. Is there a standard etiquette for this type of thing? Chill out! You don't need to worry about that kind of stuff. You're our guests. That goes to you two eyeing the food over there too, of course. And I don't care if you're like profit guides helping us out. We can tell that you're foodies. Look at the eyes of both of them. Like Uzu is more shocked, but Lime is just like, well, fuck. Look at the eyes, like, oh, we've been got. I can't believe those two talked me into this. They may have done so, but your kindness shines through too. Thank you. What a feast. Should talk to everyone now I've had my fill. Oh, hang on, we got quests. Oh, this is the piano quest, right? I wonder if that piano piece was played before. I guess it's Hinako. A piano piece. It's beautiful. It is, but I don't think I know this one. You don't know either, but it's a wonderful sound. Do you like the piano, Uta? I do like the sound of the piano. Being able to listen to it would be really special. I agree. We had a piano at the school. Maybe someone would play for us. Have a little concert. That'd be fun. Even if none of us know how to play, we could still enjoy the sounds the keys make. Then why don't we make a piano? A really big, beautiful one. By big, do you mean a grand piano? Yeah, a grand piano. Okay, I'll get the work. Can I trouble you for a moment? Sure, what is it? I'd like you to accompany me to my hardscape. Your hardscape? We already got your memories back. That's right. I'm hoping to go back to see the view again, now that I've regained my memory. If it's too much trouble, I won't force you. No, it's no trouble at all. Let's go together. Thank you very much. Right, before anything else, I need to check what sets I have. It's been a while. Actually, let's see what we've got. That's a part of a set, that is. I think that's part of a set, yep. attack up. Ugh, no, I can't get rid of the bonfire. Damn it. Literally the last one to the attack up. That's too That's too significant. Oh, no, didn't want to do that. I wanted to see what set the bear might be a part of. "1v1 damage, okay. The one-on-ones, that means nothing to us, we'll be fine. The bear's going. So I made it, but grand piano's sure big, huh? Weren't you the one who decided to make such a big piano? But it is a really big and beautiful instrument. Would it be alright if I tried to play? Of course, I want to try too. What a lovely sound. Yes, so clear and resonant. I don't think we can access states until we do all these little bits, but yeah, we can. I'll go do Uta's quest as well. Let's get the other one out of the way, and then we'll talk to everyone. The bear's going, Lime looking crushed in the background. Yeah, she's like, she's still got her little teddy. It's fine. Alright, ready? Yes. Speaking of Yuzu and Lime, in the third game, make them people you can take on dates as well, because I'd love to like kind of like dissect their minds a bit and just get to hang out with them and see how they respond to things. Because they're like the only two you can't hang with in the first game, and like the only two you can't hang with in this game. You know, like it'd be nice to actually have like a proper. Like you kind of get like one big date at the end of the first game to like to celebrate their characters and send them off with a smile, but still, demons. I hope I don't slow you down. Don't worry, I'll protect you. That's what I want to say, but I don't think I can take them all. Let's try and go by without them spotting us. Okay, we need to get to the opposite end. I do not remember the path for this. Which I mean, I hope means that it was okay and we didn't have any trouble. I mean, it seemed like it wasn't difficult, but you never know. Give them outfits too. Beach episode was weird with them dressed normally. Yeah, right? It was so strange that they were the only two. But I suppose the reason why they don't have costumes is because they don't have any talents. So they're not part of the cast in technicality. They're just advisors. Like, if they had talents that could add to the group, then I think they probably would have had costumes as well. Which is annoying because they had costumes in the first game, and I liked their costumes. Well, you know, other than the obviously skimpy ones, they had like two like magician-based costumes that I really liked. I just never used them because you only use them in the field, not in combat, and I wanted it to be the other way around. I thought they were great combat dresses. Oh, bitch. Okay. Because in the first game, in combat, you're only ever in your reflector costume. You don't transition to it or wear your casual. Let's try and navigate this guy again. Oh, and go. I know this game already kind of did, but go crazier with the like the extra optional scenes in the next game. Like not just like date optional scenes or like the group chat where there's like several people, just like other random events that lead to shenanigans. like having the night pool scene with the DLC stuff, or that sort of thing, or you just have more random one-off scenes that are just kind of there for funsies. That are like just like flavor text kind of bits that are just there to have some more fun with it. I think we need to go all the way around. So I don't think we can beeline straight for that ladder. I think its position would be too weird. Yeah, I think that'd be too weird. I'll go around. Alright, then is this awkward navigation. I mean, it's nice enough to put a box right in front of you so you can't get, like, caught unfairly. But it's still, like, an awkward spot to try and navigate. Same with this, they kind of put this box here to give you a little bit more of a breather, but it can still spot you on the side if you're not careful. Imagine sneaking past that, getting up there, getting to this right, and then realizing that it was the wrong way. Man. Imagine the outfits in lore. This Hina girl made us supposed to dress like magicians and break dress code. At least she didn't put us in towels. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing they could do. Have, like, more costume-specific scenes. Because technically the night pool scene is also a costume-specific scene, because they all wear the... the summery costumes, the summery beachwear costumes. So do that in another game. Maybe like if you have a unique costume and you wear it, the characters will respond to it. Like, I mean, it was something I actually liked about Persona 3. If you put the characters in weird costumes, they'd comment on it. But just expand on that idea. Make it so it actually leads to unique little scenes. I'm basically just saying go crazy with Spice of Life. The Spice of Life stuff in this game is where, like, most of it feels like it shines the most. And it's like, just lean more into that. This is far enough. This is the view that my heart created. That's the idea. Some things might be a little different or exaggerated, though. A tower so tall you can't see the top. When I first saw it, I had no idea what it could represent. But now I have my memory. I finally understand. It was to represent my solitude. Solitude. I looked down on the people around me. I rejected them. Wished that they would just leave me alone. Yuta, but you're different now. Indeed, I'm not alone anymore. I have friends like you, who will put up with all of my selfish requests. Do you feel better now, Yuta? Yes, I'm glad I was able to see this with you once more, Ao. Thank you. Alright, let's start seeing all these. P4 does the costume thing too and changes wind poses. Yeah, P4G did, base P4 didn't. But yeah, I know what you mean. Kokoro's cooking really is something, isn't it? Indeed. Though on a technical level, I think you are better, Shio. No, this isn't what I mean. Nor am I denying Kokoro's culinary skill either, of course. But food that someone else made for you just tastes different, you know? Yeah, my mum cooked for us a lot, and she said she wanted to eat other people's cooking sometimes. Exactly. Are you saying you're tired of cooking all the time? No, not at all. I know how to cook a few meals, so I can step in for you any time. I have also improved my cooking skills, I believe. And we can always help with other chores too. I'm fine, honestly. Thank you for asking, but maybe you're right. I should take a break from time to time. Hey, how's it going? You're having fun? Of course! It's like Hiyori would have fun watching paint dry. Let's not pretend. Like, Hiyori's just that kind of character. She just bounces off anything. Yes, very much so. I was actually rather worried. About what? Well, we got here a lot later than everyone else. Everybody had already gotten to know each other, so I was worried that we wouldn't fit in. But attending this welcome party made me realize something. The fact that we have a place here too. But you've always had a place here. I know, but it's different now as we have actual proof of it. I'm really glad that we had this welcome party for us. Yeah, me too. It's always fun as long as we're together. Having a welcome party at a time like this, honestly, it feels almost irresponsible. You say that, but you're having the most fun of everyone here. Well, you know, when life gives you lemons. I don't think that applies here. At any rate, seeing you all like this, it gives us hope. Hope that the world will be put back to how it was. Sorry, we shouldn't be talking about this kind of thing at a party. No, it actually made me feel a bit better. Also, Yuzu and Lime, I promise you two, if there ever is a third game, I will figure out what voice I'm going to give you two more consistently. Because I feel like the voice I give these two changes all the time. I'm never quite sure what voice to give them. With a group of girls like this, everything will be alright. That's what we have to believe, anyway. I'm glad everyone seems to be enjoying themselves. I thought everyone would just be annoyed we put it off for so long, but no one seemed to mind. Yeah, we were stressed about it for a while. But I thought I should have arranged this whole thing. I'm supposedly the leader after all. Don't be silly. You've already done so much for us. We just want to help you get through all of this. We're in a pretty bad spot, you know. God, origin, whatever you want to call it. Well, my brain's going to explode just thinking about it. And that's exactly why we thought we should all have some time to ourselves. Yeah, no point in worrying about something we can't know, so we should just live however we want. That's such a Yuki thing to say. I'll take it as a compliment. Attention, everyone! Sorry to interrupt while the party's in full swing, but we have a few words we'd like to say. First, let's all give our 3 cheers. Hip hip. What is this, the 1800s? Give a normal speech. Ahem, esteemed guests. Thank you for coming today. This party gave me the opportunity to reflect on our memories here together. It made me startlingly aware of just how much we have experienced together. Is this what you would call a normal speech? That's rich coming from you, Kirara. But really, all of these memories are super important to me. And, well, if I'm being honest, I'd like things to stay like this forever. But the end will come either way, whether it's for better or for worse. The end. I want to make sure it's all for the best. Let's keep smiling. I don't know, I know we'll all meet again. Until then, let's all do our best. Alright, next up is Al. Wait, was that not the closing speech? Nah, I thought I should leave that to our leader. But I haven't prepared anything. You can do it, Al. Well, I don't really know what to say, but thank you all. Short and sweet. Well, that's our Hoshizaki. We're grateful too, Al. Thank you for always pushing us forward. And not only that, thank you for always looking out for each one of us. Yeah, you're always the first to encourage us whenever something goes wrong. But you also make time to goof off with us too. You are kind, Al. Yes, you truly are kind. You welcomed even someone like me into the group. Thank you. You care more about this world and about us than anyone else. But your 3 needs to end with Owl invoking the power of friendship against world system before destroying it with a spirit bomb. That'd be cool. I need the world's praise. This is all the reflectors and she's just holding up with, like, I'm imagining it now, like her just standing with her hands like super high above her. So much that I bet you're worrying even now. Although you look easygoing and carefree on the outside, you really do worry a lot. But you don't need to, Al. We're always behind you. What's gotten into all of you? But the reason we had this party was to let you know how we felt. I see. Everyone knows I've been worrying about something. That's why Kokoro spent the whole day hanging out with me. That's right, I'm not alone. No matter what it is, we can get through it together. That's what I learned in my time here. I don't know if this will work yet, but that's exactly why I shouldn't worry about it alone. I still have everyone here. Everyone. I have something else I'd like to talk to you about tomorrow. Of course, we'll be waiting. Tell us what's on your mind, Ao. We do love everyone here. All the memories I made in this world, in the end, those are the only things that matter to me. I want to save everyone. Even more than that, I want to be with everyone. That's why I have to do it. I have a plan, a way we can save everybody. Plan? You do? What is it? We can't stop the world from being destroyed. That's why we'll change the world after it's destroyed. After? Origin is trying to reconstruct the world. Yeah, I hope you're reborn as someone good this time. It's trying to reconstruct the world. And all of you got caught up during the collapse. Isn't that right, Uta? Yes, that's right. That means we have to recreate the world exactly as it used to be. If we can do that, then our loved ones won't disappear and everything will be back to normal. We can live like the ash never fell. Exactly. All this time we've been trying to stop it, but we failed. So instead of trying to stop it, we can just use it to make everything go back to normal. In other words, we do exactly what Uta tried to do when she was our enemy. To remake the world as we please. But this time, we'll make the world to be exactly like the old world. Uta's ideal world probably wouldn't be ideal. I think I understand, but is that even possible? Wouldn't we basically need a miracle for something like that to happen? Would it even be possible for us to accomplish what Uta attempted to do? We cannot know anything for certain. That is what makes this so difficult. What would happen to Ao? I don't know. But if there's a chance everyone can be saved, and I could stay with you all, I thought that was the most important thing. Ow. I understand, but we'd be using Uta's plan, but how do we possibly communicate with Origin? What about Yuki? Me? Yuki is a connection to the world system. If we could use that to communicate our emotions to it. I see! If we could combine everyone's emotions into one and send it? It's not completely impossible! Even if our chances are close to zero, it means there's still a chance, and there are things we need to consider. First of all, even if it works, we have no way of knowing if we'll be able to live the same lives in the new world. At the very least, creating a world without the ash will drastically change the lives of those who are affected by it. You're right. It may depend on how you all feel, but even if things were to go back the way they were, would the rebuilt world really be the same as the one that was destroyed? Everyone would forget everything that had happened until now and start over. I think it's up to each person to decide if they can accept that. Guess we can't assume that everyone wants the same thing. But most importantly, we'll only get one shot at this. There'll be no turning back. But still, I believe there's a chance. I've always thought I was putting you all in danger just by existing. But everyone forgave me and gave me a place to stay. I always wanted to do something that could be of use to everyone. I can't even fight in this world. But if I can be the one to get us through this, I'll do anything I can. Yuki. There's nothing else we can do, is there? Oh, I miss this battle theme. We have to rebuild from square one. That's right. We wouldn't have another way to return to the world the way it was. In that case, I'm for rebuilding the world. Even if that means forgetting everything? Well, we don't know that for a fact. And the fact that Uta was normal in the end of the normal ending tells me that she did remember. I think there's a reason I'm still living while the world is dying. It's thanks to the feelings of all the people who have supported me in my life. My mother, my father, my friends from school. all my teammates who fought with me. It's our feelings that connect people to each other, the past to the future. Even if I could live to become an old woman in Oasis, there would be nothing left afterwards. Even the feelings you gave me would disappear. If there's a chance that recreating the world gives us a future, I want to take that chance. Our final fight, all we can do now is pray, wish and hope. It's like that for me as well. Oasis will disappear someday. I would rather fight than wait for that to happen. I agree. We believed in Yuki, we believed in Uta, we believed in Ao. Believing in everyone has gotten us this far. I don't see any reason to stop now. Let's do it. Let's take our lives back. Alright, here's what we're going to do. First, we need to prepare to deliver our emotional power. We need to create a path to send our combined emotions. Second, we need to gather everyone's fragments. All the remaining feelings will be the foundation of the new world. Is it okay to collect the fragments now? Yes, we still have time until Oasis breaks for good. We should get started on both. It's time to finish what we started. I don't want to think about what will happen if we fail, but this will be our last time in this world. So let's give it all we've got. Oh, is this a good time? Is it? We have to go get everyone's fragments. Oh, we can take these guys on dates as well. You're going to get everyone's fragments from their heartscapes, aren't you? Yeah, we need more power to rebuild the world. Collecting fragments also means touching the person's heart. And we know that the demons that appear in the heartscape are made of emotional distress. So, since you are treading deep into our heart, you will likely encounter even greater distress. Are you saying our enemies will even be tougher? It's only an educated guess, but I believe so. I hope you will make sure to prepare yourself. Understood, please. Ooh, this is this. Okay, let me save, because I want to see all these. We're going to manual save, watch all of Kokoro's, load, then all Arena's, load, or then go through the list. So it's going to be a while if these are what I'm thinking of. The 3 back-to-backs. Where it's like, who do you want to hang with? And it's everyone. We're going to go through all of Koko's and then work our way all the way down. Hey everyone, we don't have much time left here. How about we split up and clean the school? What a great idea. It's a common courtesy to clean up after yourself. What? I hate cleaning. Oh, come on now. Got a fabulous prize to the person who works the hardest. Ooh, you got a reward for us, huh? What is it? You will receive a special, one-of-a-kind, best cleaner award from yours truly. Not good enough? Yeah, no, I'd love to get a prize like that. Alright then, the great cleaning competition begin. So, I will now assess what everyone did and declare the winner. I cleaned the classrooms. The desks have been served us all so well, look like they're new again. I did the gym. I made sure to get all the nooks and grannies. I was with Yuki in the gym. There wasn't much to be cleaned, to be honest. I cleaned up the nurse's office. I really hope we don't have to use it again. I tidied up the library. There were lots of books to take care of, but it was fun. Oh, I love when they go, let's rebuild the world. You immediately get a text saying, let's look at the shipping container. Yep. And it's like, let's enjoy the little blessings we have before they're gone. There was a lot of books to take care of, but it was fun. Also, I've become increasingly aware. I may have been slightly ambitious to say it would be 3 streams before we're done. I might have been slightly ambitious. I think the stream on Monday, we might wrap this up at this rate. Because get the memories, do the final dungeon, see our ending. That's not much left. Obviously, see like the rank 8 and rank 10. Like, there's not much here left, you know. My books take care of, but it was fun. I handled the roof. The breeze felt nice. Me next. I did the workroom. I made sure all the plates and pots were sparkly clean. The hallway should be perfect now. They were considerably dirty due to our daily use. I straightened up the garden and the area around it. I'll only be able to take care of them for a little while longer. Sounds like the person that put the most effort in was, and I'll say Kokoro this time. Kokoro wins. I saw you cleaned the legs of the seats and desks. That's not something I would have even thought to do. Things we use break down quickly if we don't tend to them regularly. They last so much longer if we take care of them with a sense of appreciation. lasts longer, but once Oasis disappears. I know, but our feelings will stay. Isn't that why you suggested we clean this place? There's a great big thank you to this world? Yes, that's exactly why you're the winner. I hereby pronounce you best cleaner. Thank you, leader. I'm honored. It's kind of sad that we have to leave this school, but we can't stay here forever. Our summer vacation is coming to an end. And now it's the, who's this letter from? I haven't said like that in a while. When it comes to the revisits, I'll skip most of this text and just get back to the choices. Oh, what's this, a letter? To Ao Hoshizaki. I wonder who it's from. Oh, there's a name on the back. Let's see. And then you got this meta shit where you can just pick who it is. Oh, it's from Kokoro. This is like a thank you letter, but why a letter? Oh, I should just go ask her in person. There she is. Hey, Kokoro. Oh, what is it? I got this letter, but I was just wondering if there was a reason you wrote a letter. No, not particularly. I just thought I hadn't told anyone how I felt in writing since I'd been here. Come to think of it, neither have I. Yeah, so I just felt like sharing my feelings with you in writing. Still, it was a pretty sentimental letter. You really feel that lucky to have met me? Are you saying I lied? No, but... I didn't think so. But Kokoro, why are you suddenly feel like writing a letter now? Well, being separated from those you care about always happens suddenly. I just don't want to have any regrets. We don't know what will become of this world, so I wanted to tell you before anything happens. I wanted to say thank you, and that I love you. I see, then I'll write you one too. What, you will? Yeah, I have lots that I want to tell you too, Kokoro. Like what? I can't tell you now. You have to read the letter and find out. Oh, of course. Can't wait to read it. I'm surprised to get a letter out of nowhere, but I'll cherish it if it was Kokoro herself. Oh, I didn't realise I had so many photos I've taken. Yeah, except fucking me at the end of this playthrough. But I wonder how much longer I'll get to be with everyone. I wish I could record more memories. Oh, I know. I should be taking videos instead of pictures. I should get one of each of the girls. Right, now who should I start with? Kokoro. And then I'll load and scroll down one. Hey, Kokoro, mind if I ask you some questions? Questions for what? Don't worry, I'll be quick. Just say the first thing that comes to mind. Let's see. What do you remember most about your time in this world? The time you and I went to the library, I guess. Do you remember telling me about the death god theory? I do, but that's really what comes to mind. I was so anxious back then because I couldn't remember anything about myself. But seeing you smile helped me feel hopeful that things would work out. You helping me realize that there's no point in dwelling on negative thoughts and that I should keep moving forward. I had no idea you felt that way, Kokoro. That's because I never told you. I have a question for you too, Ao. Why are you recording this? Why? I guess I wanted to leave some kind of record of our time together. Why do you think that? Why? I don't know. Why did I? How? Are you worried that our bond will be broken when this world comes to an end? I feel the same way. I'm scared of what might happen after this. But I know that we'll be okay. No matter how far apart we are, even if we lose our memories, our bond will never be broken. I'll never forget any of our friends. Especially you. There's no way I could ever forget you, Ao. Kokoro. You're deleting the video? Yeah, I don't need it, because I'm sure we'll meet again. I'd rather believe in the bonds between us than cling on to old memories. Right, Kokoro? Right, we'll always be friends. Thank you, Kokoro. Had it not been for you, I wouldn't have realised what was most important. I'll keep our memories in my heart forever. I'll never forget them. This world is made up of our memories. You're absolutely sure about this, right, Yuzu and Lime? Yeah? Yeah, but why do you have such a serious look on your face? So, if I wish for something with all my might, it could happen? Let me grow another inch. No. Instantly rejected! You need to give it a little thought. It's not like that, Yuki. You see, we've actually tried it already, but it didn't work. That makes us comrades, striving to achieve the same ideals. Alright, and then I'm going to load, scroll down one, and see everyone's. It's going to take a while, but... No, that's the autosave I loaded. God damn it. That's the autosave I loaded. That's the wrong save. It also defaulted to it. God, I nearly loaded chapter. I loaded my other save. I nearly loaded chapter 4. So I have 2 saves going. I've been alternating for a bit. All right, and now I'm going to skip through this. And this time, pick the next name down, which will probably be Reina. Oh, it's Yuki. Okay. So, I saw that Yuki had been spurred on by Reina to keep cleaning the gym, but I also saw how seriously you took it when you were cleaning. I was really moved. Well, we had so much fun in the gym. It's hard not to get attached, you know? So the best cleaner award goes to Yuki Kinjo. Come on now. How am I not supposed to get emotional after that? Hang on, let me respond to Mother Dearest. Kind of sad that you have to leave this school, but you can't stay here for. Oh, that's just the same lines. Okay, those last few lines are the same. And then it's the. We'll just do the Yuki letter then. No, it's from Yuki. So it's a thank you letter, but why a letter? Oh, I can just go ask her in person. Yuki, thanks for the letter. It was really nice, but why a letter? Well, I'm not really good at expressing my feelings. I thought I'd just mess it up if I tried to tell you those things in person. But I had to just come and tell you how I feel before our time comes to an end. I may not even be alive when we get back to our world. So the time I've got to spend here was the greatest gift I could have ever asked for. I have no doubt that you and Reina will be alive and well and all lovey-dovey in our world, Yuki. Yeah, you always had faith in me, Al. That's why I won't give up hope that I'm alive in our world, and I'll never make Reina cry. Al, you've given me the hope I need to be able to think that way from the beginning till now. So I wanted to tell you just how much I appreciate you. I will never forget the days I spent here with all of you. And if by some miracle there's a future in which I'm still alive, then I guess it's meant to be. Yeah, I think so too. So let's hang out in the real world when we get back. I was surprised to get a letter out of nowhere, but I'll cherish it as if it was Yuki herself. Hey Yuki, mind if I ask you some questions? Huh? Like an interview? Really are random, Al. I'll take that as a yes. What do you remember most about your time in this world? Oh, that's easy. Being alive. Or something like being together with Reina. You can be honest, you know. Al, you're not just playing around this time, are you? You're not smiling the way you usually do. Why are you forcing yourself to put on this fake smile to record this interview? Well, I don't know. Why am I? Al, don't force yourself to say something if nothing comes to mind. It'll just be a lie. Yeah. I'm sure I'll be alive in the future. I promise I'll never forget. Those are all lies. The truth is I'm terrified. So there's no way you aren't scared too, Al. I see I was scared. But there's one thing I believe. We've been through a lot. And all of it was real. The fact that we're friends is as real as it gets. Even if we forget everything, that fact will remain in my heart, and I will remember it. It will remain in your heart? That's beautiful. You're deleting the video you just took? Yeah, you told me I don't need it, Yuki. Our friendship will remain in my heart too. You're just putting up a front, are you? Not at all. You gave me the strength to understand that, Yuki. You've not been realised what's most important. I'll keep the memories in my heart forever. I'll never forget them. Alright, Reina's turn. I will go through Utas as well. I'll finish with Utas. And then we'll do the dates. Hey everyone, we don't have much time left here, so... Oh no, we don't need to see this again. This is all the starting chat. I'm mashing circle instead of X so I don't accidentally click a name when we get to... I don't like spam it too much and accidentally click Kokoro at the start. Based on what I know, Reina deserves the win. What do you know? You're scaring me here. You said there wasn't much to be cleaning the gym, but the reason for that was because you cleaned up after we used it every time, isn't that right? Come to think of it, she was always mopping the floors and wiping down the equipment we used. Cut it out, it's no big deal. And since even the audience agrees, the Best Cleaner award goes to Reina Miyauchi. Ugh, I guess there's no use trying to change your mind, fine, I'll take it. Thanks. The first bit is kind of just flavor text. Is this one. This is the one that feels that's like the significant one of the three. Like, this is the one that feels like matters the most. Oh, it's from Reina. It's like a thank you letter, but why a letter? Oh, I'll just go ask her in person. Reina, found you. Hi, Hoshizaki. Why the face? You were so affectionate in the letter. Yeah, that's kind of why I didn't want to see you. That kind of thing is just not my style. Ugh, why did I do that? So annoying. Wipe that smile off your face. I can't. It's literally the happiest I've ever been. Thank you, Hoshizaki. Cheeky to the bitter end. But I think we've spent enough time together that I'm sure you know I wouldn't lie about such things. Yeah. I was surprised to get a letter out of nowhere, but I'll cherish it if it was Reina herself. Oh, that was like the most pointless one. Like, that was... Aww. Reina got, like, short-ended, it felt like, a little there. Hey, Reina, mind if I ask you some questions? For what? Is that one of your antics? You know it, so first of all, what do you remember most about your time in this world? I suppose how hurt I felt every time I saw Yuki without her memory after I got mine back, and remembered that I love her. Straight to the point, Reina, you little bean. Straight to the point. But it was thanks to those unbearable days that I came to realize that I can endure anything for the sake of being with her. Reina, you're glowing. You probably think that because you're so gloomy. Huh? Am I really? Definitely. This whole video thing too. What's going on? Why are you doing this? Well, what? I don't know. Then you start to feel worried. Worried? You're not going to say you no longer believe that you'll remember us when we part ways, are you? I get it now. I was worried. So worried that I was going to depend on some video that could be deleted at the touch of a button. And then she deletes it. Did you delete the video? I'm okay with that. Yeah. So I'll remember you and the others, no problem. How confident you are now. Well, good luck. Thank you, Reina. If it had not been for you, not have realised what's most important. Okay, who's next? I imagine we'll just go in order, so Shio. It also means we now have to pick the more names please list. Alright, mashing that circle button again. This is not the longest stretch, the rest of it's fine. It's just this bit you have to establish and then everyone has to pitch in. I like hearing everyone's like voice for a second at the start. You hear it? Whoop, yep, whoop, up. Right, view other members. Hina. The order is so weird. Alright, Hinako. Hinako, you win. I saw a genuine appreciation in your eyes as you were cleaning. Appreciation? I guess there was a bit of that. In this world, the nurse's office isn't a lonely place. Nobody here ever lets someone who is hurt have some peace and quiet. But that kind of noisiness may have actually helped me once or twice. So I think I did project the appreciation I feel for you all into that place. I see. Hearing that makes me even more sure that you deserve this award. The Best Cleaner award goes to Hinako Shirai, the kindest of all of us. Thanks, Ao. I'll cherish this forever. Alright, then let's see what Hina's letter is. I feel like Reina's letter was kind of gutting, considering Yuki's was so prominent. Like, Yuki's felt like a little extension of the closure of her character arc, whilst Reina's felt like a bit by the book, and Reina got it more in her the video one. Oh, it's from Hinako. This is like a thank you letter, but why a letter? I'll just ask her in person. Hinako! Oh, out, you don't have to yell. I know. Anyway, what's with this letter? What do you mean? It's exactly as I wrote. I just wanted to thank you properly. You're giving me something irreplaceable, an ordinary life with friends. Hinako. Those days are coming to an end. Oh, don't look so sad, Al. Huh? Our memories of these days might disappear, but maybe, just maybe, if we meet again somewhere, the memories of you will come back to me. Just like how I was able to remember Yuzu and Lime. So Al, I hope you remember me too. I will. I was surprised to get a letter out of nowhere, but I'll cherish it as if it was Hina herself. Hey, Hinako, mind if I ask you some questions? Sure, about what? Great, I knew I could count on you. So, first of all, what do you remember most about your time in this world? I remember most? Probably when we all first met at the cafe. I found out later it was thanks to Shio's promise that, to me that I woke up. I was so happy that Shio remembered such a small promise and that it stayed with me as well. That's such a wholesome story. I'll be sure to keep this recording safe. Thanks, but come to think of it, why are you recording a video in the first place? I don't know, why? Hey Al, if you're feeling anxious, let's just talk to each other as much as we can. We could cherish the time we have left together. I'm sure you and I can make the best of it. Of course, thanks to Hinako, I get it now. I've been so anxious. Like, you can see the structure of them are the same, but it's still nice to get these little extras from everyone. You deleted the video? Yeah, I want to talk to you face to face, not through some screen. I see, then let's go somewhere else. Why don't we go hound Shio for some snacks while we're at it? Yeah, you always know exactly what to say, Hinako. Thank you, Hinako. If it hadn't been for you, I wouldn't have realised what was most important. I'll keep our memories in my heart forever. I'll never forget them. Yeah, and this is the Yuki Short Club. Alright, now it's Shio. Hey everyone, why don't we have some... We don't have much... Oh no, we don't need... I think I'm going to read this, but I don't need to. This isn't what we're looking for. I'm so used to just reading the moment the text arrives. And you haven't gathered, this will probably almost definitely be the rest of this stream. I'm going to do this and the dates, and then next stream will probably be picking up the fragments, Uta's rank 8 and 10, and then the final dungeon. I imagine we'll do it next stream at this rate. Oh, I suppose the order makes sense in the names because it's the order there in front of us. But it's just, you know, I expected it to be Coco, Reina, Yuki, Shio, Hina, not the order we have. I think Shio deserves the prize. Me? Yeah, the library had to be such a pain to clean. You remembered which book we used the most and made sure to wipe them down carefully. Hearing you say that is a bit embarrassing, but it really wasn't that much trouble. It felt more like I was reminiscing about the memories we shared in the library than cleaning it. I feel like I'm going to think of your words whenever I go to the library now. Thank you, Shio, for cherishing our memories. The best cleaner award is yours, Shio Kasuga. Please accept it. Should be my honour. Another wonderful memory made. Oh, where's this meta letter from this time? It's from Shio. Oh, it's from Shio. It's like a thank you letter, but why a letter? Oh, I could go ask her in person. Shio. Oh, something smells nice. Hello, Al. Let's brew some coffee. Do you like a cup? Oh, yes, please. Can I ask you something while we drink? What is it? Why did you write this letter? I wanted to thank you for everything you've done. A simple thank you felt a little lacking. I wrote a letter because there was so much I wanted to tell you, but it all came out as so unoriginal. I'm sorry I couldn't fit all my feelings into writing. But did the meaning of my message still get through to you? Absolutely, I really, really loved it. I was surprised to get a letter out of nowhere, but I'll cherish it as it was Shio herself. And last but not least... Oh, no. Down. Shio. Hey Shio, mind if I ask you some questions? Want to interview me? I hope I don't disappoint. Relax, just for fun. So first of all, what do you remember most about your time in this world? Perhaps the first time I entered my heartscape? You and Kokoro stood by me even when I was afraid. It was so reassuring. I see, I'm glad we were able to help. Would it be alright for me to ask you a question, Toshizaki? Why are you making this video? You look upset. Is there something on your mind? You know you can talk to me. There are some things that you can be resolved just by talking. You taught me that, Al. I see. I was so upset that I thought I need to make some kind of memento, but... Did you delete the video? Yeah, I figured I'd rather talk to you instead of doing some interview. Oh, really? Alright then, let's talk and make many more memories together. Yeah. We've had a couple interesting ones, but most of these are kind of samey, unfortunately. So we've had a couple interesting ones, so I'm still doing them all, but, you know, like, some of them have been like, okay, you've just kind of gone through, like, the motions. Alright, so I'm in the match circle again. This is Kirara's turn for all these little scenes. I think Kirara takes this one. I saw you working hard up on the rooftop, gathering leaves and pulling weeds. I just thought I should make an effort since everyone else was. This could very well be the last time I get to do something with all of you. I wanted to do what I could to be useful. I knew it. You deserved the reward the most, Kirara. But I think the others did so much more than I did. You can't judge the value of your own hard work, especially not the value that work has to others. I felt that you worked the hardest, so I decided to choose you as the winner. So, it is my pleasure to present to you the Best Cleaner Award. Thank you, Al. Kirara. Oh, it's from Kirara. Thank you, but why a letter? Oh, I'll just ask her in person. Hey there, Kirara. I knew you'd come out. Did you mean the Divine? No, it's because I left you a letter. I figured you'd come ask me why. Yes, exactly, but why did you write a letter out the blue? I have found it difficult to communicate with others since losing the ability to hear the Divine. I haven't been able to tell you what I've wanted to, so I wrote it. I needed to let you know while you were still here with me. I'm very happy to have met you. Even though I could not hear the voice of the Divine, you always stuck by me, laughed with me. I can only be myself when I'm with you, Al. I used to think that I wanted to be useful to everybody here, but now I feel a bit different. I want to be useful to you, Al. I want to be your strength. Something funny? Well, Kirara, you're pretty much saying everything that you wrote in the letter. You're not bad at communicating at all. I got everything you wanted to say. Good. I feel the same way, Kirara. I'll do everything I can to be helpful to you too. Very well. You may devote yourself to me. I was surprised to get a letter out of her, but I'll cherish it anyway. Because Kirara's, that was a nice extra piece of closure for her character arc. Of her learning to have her independence. She just proved she had it without even realizing it. Hey Kirara, mind if I ask you some questions? I would prefer that you go through my agent for such things. I got your agency's permission to film. In that case, I will allow it. What do you remember most about your time in this world? What I remember most, that would be losing the ability to hear the Divine. Something that I had taken for granted for so long no longer existed for me in this world. So sometimes I cannot tell if the Kirara I am here is truly the real Kirara. But everyone accepted me regardless. You all said I was one of you. Thanks to everyone here, I now understand that it is acceptable for me to just be me. So you're saying that becoming friends with everyone is the best thing that happened to you here? I suppose you could put it that way. Aw, don't be embarrassed. I demand you delete that video. It's an invasion of privacy. What? No way. I want to have a video of everyone. Everybody? Why? Well, because... I don't know. I see, you're scared, aren't you, Ao? If this world comes to an end, everything will be lost and everything will start anew. So you wanted to keep some kind of record of the time we spent here together. Ao, even if everything is reset, I will never forget you. I will carve your form, your voice, your very name onto my soul. We will always be connected, no matter how far apart we are from each other. Kirara. You're deleting the video? Yeah, I don't need it. No matter what happens, our friendship isn't going anywhere, right, Kirara? Indeed, our friendship is eternal. Thank you, Kirara. Looking at you, not realize the most important. I'll keep it in my heart. Yeah, we get it, you're short. Load, and now final 3. Because we can't hang out with Yuzu and Lime. We got Hiyori, we got Mio, and we got Best Girl Uta. So we got 3 more rounds of this. We can do this. Just because I want to see everything. I want to, when I reach the end of this playthrough, I want to reach the end of this playthrough satisfied I've seen everything that I want to see. I know there are going to be slight subtleties, and there's probably a date or 2 that I've missed somehow anyway. But that's fine. I just want to reach a point that I'm satisfied. And so that's why I'm doing things like this. Alright, Hiyori. I think Hiyori wins this one. I saw you really scrubbing down the pots in the workroom. I have a special attachment to the workroom. I just had to be the one to clean it. Special attachment? Remember when everyone made curry for me? That's when it all started. Curry didn't just remind me of my family anymore. I started to associate it with my friends too. I've only made it this far because of Mio and all of you. So I put those feelings of gratitude into washing and cleaning the workroom. I think those feelings are very important. In honor of receiving the Best Cleaner award is yours, Hiyori Hirahara. You're gonna make me blush. Thanks, Ao. And I assume the letter is the same. 9, yeah. You can't suddenly have like Yuzu and Lime letter you or something. Hiyori. Oh, it's from Hiyori. It's like a thank you letter, but why a letter? Oh, I'll just ask her. There she is, Hiyori. Ao, you were looking for me? Yeah, I wanted to ask you something. What's with this letter? What do you mean? It's a thank you letter. Oh no, did my feelings not come across well enough? Like how I'm grateful for you and how I love you and stuff? And how I want to be your friends forever? That's why I wanted to tell you anyway. No, I did get that. You complimented me so much, it was almost embarrassing to read. Really? Yay! But that's not the point. I wanted to ask you why you wrote a letter in the first place. Well, I wanted to let you know how I feel about you in a special way. Writing a letter makes you think about the person it's for as you write each word, you know? I can spend much more time thinking about you by writing than by talking in person or in free space. Which means I can pack so many more of my feelings into a letter. I wanted you to have something that represented my feelings like that. But this letter probably won't. I know it probably won't come with you when we leave, but there's a chance you'll remember it. The memories of the time you spent with me, during that very moment, might remain. I mean, it's all hypothetical, but I don't see why we can't hope for a happy ending. Hiyori. I promise I'll never forget about you or this letter. Okay, you promised. I was surprised to get a letter out of nowhere, but I'll cherish it as if it was Hiyori herself. And finally, let's go stick a camera in front of her face. Hey Hiyori, mind if I ask you some questions? Questions? Ah, sure, as long as I know the answers. Let's see, what do you remember most about your time in this world? Hanging out with you, of course. We went on lots of different places together, but they were all so fun. All my problems just disappear when I'm with you. They help me stay positive and keep moving forward even when things were tough. You're too sweet. Okay, next question. Hey, wait, I want to ask you something too. Why do you feel like you're doing an interview all of a sudden? I want to have a recording of everyone. Even though the video would disappear? Oh, you're scared, huh, Al? It scares you to think that our bond could disappear along with this world, right? I get that. I was thinking the same thing. But is that really what's going to happen? Is everything really going to be reset? What do you mean? We didn't remember anything when we came to this world, but we were able to regain our memories. The good, the bad, all of it. I think the only reason that was possible was because our hearts longed for those memories. So maybe all we have to do is wish as hard as we can that we'll never, ever forget each other. I refuse to forget the people I love. I know I'll see you again, Al. Hiyori. You're deleting the video? Yeah, you helped me realize I don't need it. Even if the world disappears, our bond never will, right, Hiyori? Yeah, let's meet up and hang out in the new world, Al. Thank you, Hiyori. Had it not been for you, I wouldn't have realized what was most important. I'll keep our memories in my heart forever. I'll never forget them. Alright, 2 more. We got Mio, and then we got Uta. Right, time to mash that circle button again. This is the longest stretch, just mashing this bit at the start. What the heck? I just went down to the description. YouTube thinks the game I'm playing is Grand Theft Auto. I'm not kidding. Look, I just looked at it at the bottom. It says game played Grand Theft Auto 5 in the gaming channel. No, that's clearly not what I'm playing. What? Hopefully that would fix itself. That's such a weird thing. I wish you could manually set it like you could on Twitch. Then I would just manually, like, you know, find the name and put it on that. Mio, you mop the hallways with such loving strokes. I mean, you put so much care into it. When I thought about how we walked those halls every day, I just couldn't help it. We would walk and run from so many times. Yes, we did spend time in other rooms too, but those halls remind me of our time together the most. The honor of receiving the best cleaner award is yours, Mio Hirahara. Thank you, Al. I will cherish this. Oh, the letter. the meta letter. That's what I'm calling this thing. The meta letter. That's what it is. Oh, it's from Mio. I'll just ask her. Mio, you surprised me. Never expected to get a letter from you. It made me so happy. I was a bit too shy to say those words to your face. Besides, with a letter, the writer can fully consider each word and inscribe them upon her heart. Our days here will end very soon. I didn't want to regret not having said what I needed to say. Al, it's thanks to you that I was able to connect with not only Hiyori, but with so many people. Above all, the time I spent with you allowed me to reevaluate myself. I learned a lot from you too, Mio. Do you think I have become a better leader? Well, you are you, and I think that's more than enough. And you are a good friend of mine, so in our world... Yeah, we'll meet again. You and I share a tight bond. Thank you, Al. No, Mio, I should be thanking you. I'm surprised to get a letter out of nowhere, but I'll cherish it if it's her herself. And finally, let's go stick a camera in Mio's face. Hey Mio, mind if I ask you some questions? That's very sudden, yeah? Yeah, the place holds a lot of memories. It's how Hiyori was able to find you. That's right. Here you go, first question. What do you remember most about your time in this world? What I remember most? Probably the fact that when Hiyori and I were reunited, she was the only person I remembered. And also, you. Me? You rush into things without thinking at all, yet you also think so much about all of us. You were never a bore to watch, you were dazzling. You're making me blush. So the next question is, hang on now, wait, did you start doing this interview out of nowhere? It doesn't seem like one of your usual antics. I think you're afraid of forgetting about us and our time here when you return to our world. And that fear made you feel the need to try and create some type of record, am I wrong? Scared? Yeah, I was. And here I thought I had my feelings in order. It's okay. I think we're all worried about the same thing. But think of it this way. Our time together shone more brightly than anything else. We tied deep bonds with one another. So as you would say, it'll work out. These bonds will certainly transcend the laws of the world. I still remembered Hiyori when I first came to this world. I'm sure I'll remember you as well. You're right. It's not like me to worry. It'll work out. I'll never forget about the people I love, and our bonds will never disappear. That's right. And even if you do forget, our memories will come back to us. I promise I won't ever let you or Hiyori fail. I'll always keep an eye on you two. Thank you, Mio. Had it not been for you, I wouldn't have realised what was most important. Sorry, Yuki. You get Right, one more. And I think I will wrap up after this, and we'll start the next stream with the date, so we've got that kind of warm-up piece on Monday to kind of get started with. You know, before we dive into, you know, the end game pieces. Hey everyone, we don't have much time left here, so why don't we split up and clean the school? We don't need to actually... Why? I went to go read this again. So I also want to get some food. I'm a little hungry. Oh man, who did the best cleaning? I say Uta. Uta, I saw you talking to the flowers in the garden. I heard you saying thanks to them. I am not sure myself why such words escaped my lips, but in taking care of them I just felt... I felt how deeply in my heart the flowers have taken root. I realized how they've been healing me all this time, and I wanted to let them know how I felt. So the words just flowed out of you, huh? I'm sure the flowers were happy to hear you say that, Uta. Uta, I bestow upon you the Best Cleaner Award. Will you accept it? Of course, Al. Everyone, thank you so much. Alright, then we'll read Uta's letter. Oh, it's from Uta. It's like a thank you letter, but why a letter? Oh, let's go ask her in person. Hey Uta, you wrote me a letter, didn't you? So happy, thank you. But why a letter all of a sudden? So that neither you nor I would forget. I was only able to face who I used to be thanks to the courage you gave me. Regardless of the kind of person I was, you smiled upon me and helped me bond with everyone else. Did I really do all that? I was meant to be friends with you. Is it okay that you do? It is okay that you don't understand how profound that is to me. I am happy to have met you. Even if I were to forget everything else, I want this feeling to be etched onto my soul, and I want you to know it. So, that's why I wrote you a letter. Uta, I'm glad to have met you too. We have plenty more good times together from here on. Yes, I hope we will. Alright, so I'm gonna take a video of Uta. Hey Uta, mind if I ask some questions? Questions for me? Yeah, what do you remember most about your time in this world? Perhaps becoming close friends with Hiyori and Mio. I see. The three have been through a lot before you came to this world, right? Yes. But the person who brought us together? It was you, Al. Your hands were always so warm. Uta, I'm sorry. It seems like you were in need of some comforting. I'm afraid of returning to our world. I don't think I even deserve to. The only person I was able to resist being taken over by my past self was because everyone stood by me. Especially you, Al. If I forget everything returning to our world, I worry that I will end up... You won't, Uta. Even if you forget everything, even if you are torn far apart, the Uta I know will always be within you. Within me? Yeah, so don't worry. Even if you forget everyone, I'm sure it will come back to you. I get it now. I've been too afraid too. Talking to you to help me realize this. Your hands, they're so warm, Al. I know this warmth will remain with me. So will you hold my hand again in our world too? Of course I will. Let's hold hands and go see some sunflowers. The video you took, did you just delete it? I did. You helped me see that I don't need it, Uta. There's the smile I know. Thank you, Uta. You have memories in our heart. Yeah, okay, Yuki. Right, can I twig a rank 8 scene? And if not, I'm going to wrap up and we'll do dates on Monday. Okay, we'll be doing dates on Monday. But yeah, at some point our streams are going to get longer again, I promise. I know I've been doing kind of, not short, but like less than like 4 hours. And for a while it's been like 4 to 5 hours. But until this temperature kind of sorts itself out, I kind of don't want to take the mic. I kind of don't want to like over-exert myself and take too many chances, which is why my streams have been like closer to like the 2 to 4 instead of like the 4 to 6. The only real exception was that one Genshin stream. But that being said, let me save. It's good to be back. I've enjoyed these 3 hours. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Let's see if the title screen's going to work this time. No. No. As always, I will see you next time. Peace.